It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, welcome back aboard. It's a Tap Dance Tuesday as we await Ryan Day, the big presser prior to Penn State. Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and CB. I'm attempting an over-under, my friend, right now at potentially 31-30, but we'll wait and see when he makes the podium.
Yeah, man. How you feeling today? Doing all right over
Feeling
there?
Unbelievable. Wait till we get to Fool's Paradise at 12:48, and then you'll know how unbelievable I feel.
Oh, my goodness. I don't even want to talk about fantasy football. My team is absolutely cooked. I'm going to have to live through you guys the rest of the way. Physically, right now, I got a bad hammy. There's something going on.
A twinge?
Yeah, there's a bad hamstring going on right now. You might have to put me on the IL for about a week. I don't know what I did, but I woke up this morning, and the right hamstring is just not where it needs to be. It's a problem.
Well, why don't you go see the masseuse that we have on duty here?
I didn't know we had that.
Not masseur.
Is that in some back room I don't know about in the building over here?
It just sounds like you need a deep tissue or something.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
Or maybe some stretching.
Yeah.
I know you like to do the curls during the breaks. Maybe you put your leg up against this wall and stretch that hammy.
Listen, just because I got a bad hamstring, the curls ain't stopping, baby. The curls are not stopping at all. Hey, before we get going and Coach Day hits the podium, we got a pair of tickets right now to go see AEW Collision live at Nationwide Arena Saturday, December 7th. Tickets go on sale now via Ticketmaster. But if you're a wrestling fan, stick with us, and we're going over to the Woody right now.
This is a live feed of Ryan Day's weekly press conference, sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
And staying at center, and Seth's obviously been doing a great job there. But yeah, he'll mix in a couple different positions this week.
And is the plan still Donnie at left tackle, and what do you plan on doing at left guard if so?
We're still going to work through it. I'm not going to kind of throw that out there yet. We'll see how the week works, but see how Zen comes in today, and we'll keep going through it.
Far left, Joe Nugent, WCMH. How do you work through trying to find out what the new offensive line will be able to do best as you head to Penn State?
Well, I mean, we're not going to all of a sudden radically change what we do. We just have to move some things around if Zen can go and then continue to do what we've been doing.
Bill Landis, Kings of the North.
Ryan, what did you identify from watching the Nebraska tape in regards to your run game and the ineffectiveness there, and what are you trying to iron out this week?
Well, the biggest thing was obviously the third downs. When you go 1 for 10, you can't keep drives alive. You can't control the game, and that's how it goes. But I think it was a combination of things. I don't think we were always ID'd correctly, and Zen did get beat on a few of them there, but it wasn't just him. There were some other things that were mixed in there. But, in Chip, I think we ran it double, twice as much as we threw it in the game. And so we were looking to establish the run. But when you can't convert on the third downs, the third and shorts, then you can't get drives going. You can't wear down in defense. So we've got to convert on third down.
You can correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, it didn't seem like there were a lot of those kind of like perimeter throws you guys would couple with the run game earlier on in the season in the Nebraska game. Is that just a game plan specific thing to Nebraska, or do you feel like you need to get back to some more of those complementary passes?
Yeah. You try to game plan based on what you're getting that week, and obviously the game plan didn't work very well, so we got to obviously reconsider it.
Pat Murphy, 24/7 Sports.
Ryan, James Franklin kind of left it up in the air yesterday about where they'll go with quarterback. Two different guys, two different styles. How do you prepare for two different quarterbacks for a big game when you've got so much else kind of going on as well?
Yeah, we'll prepare for both guys being healthy and ready to go, and they both bring different things to the table, but both are very effective in what they do. So we'll go based on what we've seen and what's on the film. But yeah, we have to know who's in the game.
Given that they've played both, even when Aller is healthy, does that help a little bit because you knew you had to prepare for some change up there?
Yeah, I mean, regardless, we knew we were going to have to prepare for both quarterbacks. So, and both do things, they both do, they run, they throw, they both can do things very well. So they're both talented in what they do, just a little bit different in the way that, their skill set's set up. But like you said, we knew we were going to have to prepare for both anyhow.
Far right, Adam King, WBNS.
So we can watch it and we can say the run game's not working, maybe go away from it. But as a coach, what's the conversation like on the headset when you're trying to establish a run game, you're trying to learn in a Nebraska game versus, hey, we've got to get away from this because it's just not working? What's that conversation like?
Well, the number one goal is to move the ball down the field, and so that has to get done. But you also are looking to control the game by running the football and making sure that you're establishing the run and controlling the run and winning the rushing yards. But when you look at it on the sideline, you got to identify what's going on in the game, and if it's an adjustment that needs to be made, or somebody just didn't execute it right, you're not just going to walk away from it. We were explosive when we shot the ball down the field. But that's not always going to happen. We have to make sure that we're establishing runs, we're staying effective, and then again converting on third down, because the more at bats you have during a drive, the better you're going to be. When you're not converting on third down, you're not keeping drives alive. To go 1 for 10, that's just unacceptable. So we're going to keep swinging at it, because we got to make sure that we're doing it the right way and making sure that we're winning the rushing yards, and especially in this game. And we got to win the turnover battle, we got to win the rushing yards, got to win the X plays, and so, you got to go back to the drawing board and figure out what happened in the game, why it didn't get done, and get it fixed.
Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
What went into the decision that Luke Montgomery ended up being the left guard when you moved out of the Jackson outside?
Yeah, just based on practice. We have the 1s and 2s, and Luke had been practicing at left guard, for the last couple of weeks, and Austin's, spending time at right guard. So where we were in the game, we felt like Luke had more practice reps under his belt at left guard.
And kind of to what Adam just asked you, obviously, yes, logically you control the game by running the ball. Maybe this is an oversimplification, but can you control the game by just throwing the ball as well?
Listen, we all have to move the ball. So when we're throwing the ball, we're not running it. When we're running it, not throwing it. The bottom line is you got to convert on third down. So we got to do a good job on both sides of the ball in terms of execution. We got to put the players in a better position to be successful, and we got to move the football. That's the bottom line. So we can look at run, pass, this and every. The bottom line is we got to convert on third down. We got to have a balance of running and throwing, and move the ball down the field and score touchdowns. That's what it comes down to. So, we can talk to our blue in the face about running and passing. You want to balance. You got to execute better. That's the bottom line.
Spencer Holbrook, let him in row.
Right, you guys only had 44 non-kneel down plays. Obviously, the third downs go into that. But when you see the stat sheet, you see Emeka only have three catches and I think 4 targets. How do you get him more involved, even when your offense seems a little stagnant at times, or third down's not
right? Convert on third down and keep drives going so you have more plays. Because we didn't have very many plays. So when you do the math on it, you only have that many plays. The numbers are going to look the way they do. So, we'll always try to figure out ways to get the ball to our best players.
Dan Holt, 11 Warriors.
Ryan, you had said last week you had been spending more time with the defense. Does that change around this week? Do you spend more time with the offense?
Yes.
And you had said with Zen that we'll see how he works through this week. Have you gotten a diagnosis on him? Is there a chance he could play this week?
We'll look at it again today and see where he's at. I think there is a chance, but we'll look at it today and get an update for you later in the week.
Tony Gervin, Buckeye Bell.
So if Zed can't go, is he then your starter at left tackle?
If he could go, he would be, yeah.
And how much of that is trying to come up with the most seamless move rather than maybe the most painful, but perhaps the more, I don't know if it would be better now. Obviously, we try to put the best lineup out there.
Yeah, you got to put the best lineup out there and have enough, to not only just win this game, but, be able to play the rest of the season. So you got to think of a short-term plan, and then you got to come up with a long-term plan. So, we'll do everything we can to win this game, and that's where the focus is right now.
Don Taveri, WBNS.
What's the mood of your club coming in this week, Coach?
What a unbelievable opportunity right here. This is a chance to go to Indianapolis is on the line, and our guys are excited about playing in this game. I think the defense got a lot of confidence coming off of last week, the way that they played and creating TFLs and winning the game in the fourth quarter. I thought they were flying around. And so, if we can get the offense playing the way it has in the past, combined with the way we played on defense this past week, then, that's what we're looking for in this game. But
how about your quarterback after the game? He said that, he's been waiting his whole life to play in that stadium, to play in this game. He's got a chip on his shoulder. What do you expect out of him?
Yeah, just like everybody else. For Will, he grew up in Pennsylvania, so I guess that's a little bit different for him. But for everybody else, again, just like the Oregon game was, this game's been, circled on our schedule. We know what's at stake here. So we're going to have a great week of practice, great energy in practice, and I'm going to go into that environment and go, finish the way that, we didn't have an opportunity, or we didn't do, 2 weeks ago. And so now we have another opportunity to go do that in this game. So now we got to go finish and win the game in the fourth quarter. We know it's going to take 4 quarters in this game. It always does when you go play in this environment. It's a very difficult environment to play in, but we've been in this situation before. Our guys have been in this situation before. So now it's go time to, we'll go win this game and get a top 5 victory. And that's what the guys are focused on right now. The coaching staff, everybody in the building is the focus on winning this game right here.
Austin Ward, podcast.
Right, you mentioned the tackles for loss and finishing the game in the fourth quarter on defense. After that 2-week stretch, how different was Saturday for the defense? What was the evaluation overall there?
I thought we played with more precision. I think we got lined up faster. I thought we played with better pad level. I thought we played faster. Just everything about it was crisper to me than it was certainly in the Oregon game.
Well, now that game has been played, what was the one thing you wanted changed the most?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I'm probably not going to get into it right now. But I mean, there's a lot of things that came into play, and I'm going to kind of leave those questions right now for in the meeting room, or, leave those conversations for in the meeting room. But, the bottom line is, it's our job to make sure we're putting our guys in the best position to be successful. I know I keep saying that over and over again, but we got to do that as coaches and allow them to play fast. And we got to do that again this week. These guys, throw a lot of stuff at you. You got to be able to handle it. And, we want to make sure that when the game comes down to the fourth quarter, our guys are able to go play and win the game in the fourth quarter. Got to be able to do that on offense and defense in this game. It's a coach's job to make sure that happens.
Dylan Davis, Delaware Gazette.
Sticking with the defense, over the last 2 games, there's been a sizable gap between your starting 4 snapped out and the guys behind them. Are you comfortable with that? Or is that just a matter of those guys need to be on the field, those are your dudes, and needed to play more, or how's that shaking out?
No, I mean, I definitely think we want to rotate guys, but when the game's on a line like that, we got to make sure that we're getting stops. We did that. We'll have to do that again this week. But yeah, I mean, we got to get K-Mac mixed in more, Hero mixed in more, Kenyatta, Caden Curry, and make sure that our guys are fresh in the fourth quarter.
Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch.
Ryan Jeremiah obviously came in here with high expectations, and he's had a touchdown in every game. As far as him living up to those expectations, what has allowed him to ultimately think do that?
Well, his consistency and the way he practices is very, very mature again for a young player. And now you're getting into the second half of the season, and sometimes some of those freshmen can start to, fray a little bit. That's not the way he's been. I mean, he's been better every week, the way he's practiced, the way he's, handling himself and his preparation on a week-to-week basis, taking care of his body, making sure he knows the game plan, getting himself to, ready to go play in these games. And I thought for a young player, he handled the environment a couple of weeks ago really well. He's going to walk in another environment here, but he'll be ready. That week of preparation right here leading up to the game is going to be critical. But up to this point, that's been excellent. The way he is on the field, he doesn't want to miss reps. He'll stay after practice and make sure that he's running the reps with the quarterbacks to make sure the timing is right with Will. So all those things lead to execution on the field.
If I can follow up earlier on Zen, you said if he can go, he would be the starter at left tackle. What was your evaluation of him on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, if he can go, we'll continue to evaluate kind of where we're at. I don't think we've made a decision on that yet. We'll have to first see if he can go, and then go from there. So, there was definitely plays in the game where he got beat and he's battling in there, but then once he got injured. That obviously changed things. But, he did not grade out a champion in the game. It had some tough plays, that caused some negative plays. But we know what we see in practice, and we got to continue to, support him and make sure that, he knows that, we have confidence in him when he goes in the game.
Stefan Kreisnik, Cleveland.com.
You talked in the past about going into the season, you didn't need, Will Howard to be a superhero. You kind of just needed him to make plays that were there available. Well, when the offensive line struggles, do you feel like he has a sense of trying to do too much at times, or do you feel comfortable about how he's kind of responded to the situation where maybe the offensive line hasn't been up to par?
No, I don't think he's forcing the action. he had that turnover, which was big in the game, but I feel like for the most part, he's let the game come to him, and we did not do well on third down, and so we got to do that. But that's everybody involved, not just him. But we need him to play well in this game. He's not the only one, but he's got to take care of the football, and like you said, make the routine plays on first, second down, play well on third down, and score touchdowns in the red zone.
Andy Backstrom, Letterman Row.
Yeah, Ryan, is there any status update on Lathan? And then secondly, what was your impression of the way the defense handled his absence with that rotation?
Yeah, we're excited to get a full week of practice out of Lathan, so we'll kind of see again how the week goes with him. But good to know that we've built some depth back there for Jordan Hancock to move into another position going into last week's game with just a week of preparation. I thought was excellent. And so, we do have some flexibility there, moving him around. I thought Lorenzo Styles and Jermaine, played well in that game as well, both graded out. So that was good to see because, obviously the depth back there was a little bit of a concern. But then, Jalen McClain, gave us some quality reps back there. So there was quite a few guys getting reps. So, now we'll go into this game now with Lathan, coming back, kind of figure out what that looks like going into it.
Cameron T. Robinson, The Athletic.
Tegra and Austin at right guard, how has that been? And have you wanted to see more separation from the two than you have, or have you seen that?
Yeah, I think they're both, playing solid football, but yeah, we'd like to see them both take the next step.
On our bell, what's the word you got from the Big Ten about that targeting call and that you didn't take this?
Yeah, just that he's able to play in this game, and that they realize that it should not have been targeting, and I think a part of that was the fact that he was ruled a runner, and then if you rule a runner, then it's hard to be defenseless. So how does that become targeting? And so there was a lot of conversation there. So excited that Arvell's going to be with the team this week, and fired up for him.
Jeremy Birmingham, podcast.
Ryan, most of the offseason and through the summer, there was a ton of talk about how this veteran team, the most veteran team you've had, lots of player-led stuff through the summer. As you've gotten into now November, at least outside looking in, it seems like a lot of the leadership is coming from Will, Caleb, Seth, guys that weren't here in the past. Is that accurate or a fair assessment? And if it isn't, can you give a little insight into which guys that are holdovers are actually leading this team?
Yeah, I think Cody Simon's been excellent. I thought he played one of his better games this past Saturday. I think you really feel Jack when he's out there. He's strong. I mean, he loves the Buckeyes and just drives everybody in practice. You feel and hear him a lot. Lathan, not having Lathan there, was, but I thought even on the sideline, Lathan was in it the whole time. So it was good to see him support his team. He's a vocal leader for us there. On offense, like you said, I think Will's really done a good job of that. I think, Mecca as a wide receiver, is a great leader. And I think Seth has really taken on the responsibility of the guys up front. But, when you go 1 for 10 on third down, execution fuels emotion. And, when you're not converting on third downs, it's hard to get your rhythm going. So I think, the guys were a little bit frustrated on Saturday. So we got to do a better job executing and converting.
If I could just spin off of something totally different. As an offensive play caller, when you're looking at your offensive alignment and you see defensive ends and that line stuff, how does that change the way you would attack a defense?
Well, yeah, I think every defense has its own, approach to start with. And, sometimes, it's outside, playing defense where you're kind of forcing everything inside, or it's an inside playing defense that's kind of forcing things outside. And just depending on, how that coverage is set up, how the front is set up, it has a different philosophy.
Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Yeah, you said before that if Donovan needs to be the next option to move to left tackle, is that still the plan right now? And how many reps, how often has he gotten reps at left tackle? What would your level of confidence be with him?
Yeah, we've practiced him in the past, knowing that this could be a situation that we may need to go to. And so we'll get him some more this week. And, we feel like he's a veteran guy who's played a lot of football, and, we'll have to continue to identify the things that, he's going to do well and the things that he's going to, need more and more reps at. But this is a veteran player who's played a lot of football.
Bill Carter's obviously a really good edge rusher. They got a bunch of them.
Yeah.
How big a concern is just that matchup, their defensive line against your offensive line?
Yeah, he's excellent. And it's not just him. I think they have a lot of good players on the defensive line and on defense in general. So you certainly, got to know where 11 is on the field. He's dynamic as a player. So whether it's run game, pass game, I mean, you got to really do a good job with him. And I think, like you said, there's other guys on that line that are really good as well. So it'll be a challenge for our guys, and so we got to have a great week of preparation. And I think our guys are going to be fired up to play in this game, and I think it's a great challenge for our guys up front coming off of last week. So, we're in it now, and, we got a lot in the line this week. And so here we go. We got to go win this game.
And we'll wrap things up with Tim May, Letterman Row.
Thanks, Jerry. Brian, just two quickies. Number one, I know you can't talk about it too much, but the concern level of the replay review immediately in the stadium in the command center at the Big Ten not finding what was found later when the explanation was done. Where is that, I don't know, in your concern level from the standpoint of there was a fumble on that play and Ohio State got the football. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it doesn't do any good on Tuesday to get, something big. So I guess what kind of concern have you voiced about that you can maybe impart?
Well, as you can imagine, there's been a lot of conversation, and it's gone on for quite a while, but it started, most recently, when Denzel had his situation and, we talked about being a little bit more, not being as technical with it. And then we kind of got into this weekend and it seems like, we kind of fell back into that a little bit. So, without getting into the details of all the conversation, it's very difficult to try to coach, these players on what exactly to do in that situation. And so, I think what Arvell did in that situation is about what we'd expect someone to do and react in that moment right there, trying to go win the game with the game on the line. And, he keeps, from what I believe, he keeps his head out of the tackle. And so it's frustrating to think, with everything on the line and, you're trying to teach the guys what to do, to be put in that situation is very difficult. Now, I give the league, the league credit. I think the easy thing to do would have been just to, say no, but they did at least stand up and say no. That should not have been targeting in that moment. Yeah, I mean, nobody's more frustrated than me. But I keep going back to the fact that we have to leave no doubt, and I think that the way that we finished that game, even though. That was the worst case scenario. Not only do you get the 15 yards, but it's the completion. So you get the ball where the fumble was, and you get the yardage tacked on. So, but you know what? It was a good challenge for our defense to say, hey, no matter what happens in this game, we didn't get that call. We got to get off the field and go win the game, and we did that. And so, to me, that's the biggest lesson here. It's going to be the same thing on Saturday. I don't know what's coming, and I'm not, expecting to get a bunch of calls because, it doesn't seem to just happen for us. So we got to go win the game and leave no doubt and win convincingly. That's the goal. And so coming out of the game, I think for our defense to build confidence, knowing no matter what happens, we got to get a stop. There's nothing we can do about, what the calls are.
And really quick, for just an average fan watching that game Saturday, you had two big pass plays, and not until you really needed a touchdown did you get the drive. You know what I mean? And what just came right about that drive, and how frustrated were you and Chip about trying to figure out that, whatever term you want to use, conundrum, puzzle that Nebraska was causing you, and all of a sudden, y'all made it look easy. You know what I mean? Just can you explain to an average fan what kind of happens there?
Yeah, first off, like I said to our team, and I said, what happened the week before with the Nebraska-Indiana game was not going to be the same team that came in here, and they played well, and they have a good team, and Matt does a nice job. And so, it was frustrating. You could see me on the sideline, and, it was extremely frustrating. And so there's a lot of things that we got to, take from this. But what hasn't happened in some of the other games is when you get to the fourth quarter like that, when you're in the games in the balance like that, you got to go win the game. And that's what happened. We need to put a drive together. We did. We need to get stops. We did. I would love to have seen us, when we got the ball back, finish the game in a 4-minute drill. That didn't happen. So I guess the thing to come out of this game and positive is that, when you get to the fourth quarter, we got to execute and win the game. That's it. The statistics, the score, none of that really matters. Go win the game. And that's the way it's going to be here Saturday at State College.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, you guys got it.
You've been listening to the Ryan Day Press Conference on the Fan.
Sponsored by The Roofing Guys. For all your roofing, siding, and gutter needs, contact The Roofing Guys at theroofingguys.com.
Yeah, Maddie said it correctly. These press conferences now have been real drive-bys. They've been hit and miss. They've been quick. You could tell there's not concern in his voice, but there's urgency in his voice and all that. And so it's time to probably build in some more commercials now for Ryan Day.
Yeah, you could. You're right. There's a certain tone to him today to where, for me personally, he sounded a bit frustrated, and I think rightfully so based off of what we saw on Saturday. And he made it abundantly clear in this press conference that the third down execution or lack thereof has been driving him up the wall since that game. And probably going back and looking at the film and looking at the misses that they had, and just 3 or 4, maybe even 5 times in the press conference we just heard, he referenced them being 1 of 10 on third down and called it inexcusable. And he's exactly right, because while you can get away with that against a young quarterback and Dylan Raiola, you probably won't be able to do that this week. Now, we don't know what's going to happen with Drew Aller. He was asked about that and said that they're going to prepare for both. The third down execution has been fine this year. It really has. I mean, but when you go 1 for 10, you fall to 37th in the country in third down conversion percentage. And so they started off probably Saturday, I would imagine, in that 15 to 20 window nationally. But that was my big takeaway outside of the Zen stuff and what's going to happen on offensive line, is that he's ticked off about how bad they were on third down Saturday.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Yes, he should be irritated, but he's the head coach. So the question really has to be the concern level now overall of this offensive line, because I come back to, they didn't catch you off guard. You had 2 weeks to prep for this game. Yeah. 2 weeks. And I understand the impact of Josh Simmons, and everybody now is seeing it. We had question marks about this O-line with Simmons.
In the spring.
Without him.
Correct.
Now I'm not expecting, if I was there, if I asked a question or you asked a question like, how concerning now is this offensive line to you that you can be able to all of a sudden fix what he's so irritated about, which is not being able to run the damn football with 2 of the best backs in America. Now, I don't know if he would admit that, but he already kind of tipped his hand today that he is frustrated and irritated. So guess what? Lead him right to where he wants to go. Where is your confidence in this offensive line? Because from a fan and a media standpoint, you guys are in trouble. So tell Buckeye Nation, are you or are you not in trouble when it comes to your offensive line? Now, their job is to get guys ready, and he said that. And I'm all for Ryan Day finding a way to put every last ounce of his energy and knowledge into helping this team run the football. But you can't just keep selling. Everybody knows the stats. We know you were 1 for 10 on third down. We know that that's, quote, unacceptable. Where's your confidence level in being able to get it fixed this Saturday at Penn State against a defensive rush defense that's pretty good statistically? And then he got the questions of, by the way, this was great because it almost ticked him off even more. Can't remember who asked it, but it was like almost to the point of, would you abandon the run? Not abandon it where you would never run, but you would lean heavy now on the pass.
It was Steven Means. He asked, can you control the game by just
pass
throwing?
First, or control the game by just throwing because they have the weapons to do it. Yeah. Here's the thing, and I would say this back to Steven, and I'm sure Coach would say it back to him. Well, guess what happened on a 3rd and 6 when I went empty? We didn't hold up there either. So if I want to pass all the time, but my offensive line is weak, eventually that's going to get us too. You have to be balanced. So, of course, there's no way you can just control the game passing unless you're hitting those deep ones, which they were hitting. My contention on Monday was that they hit those first down passes deep because Nebraska was expecting the run still. Now teams are probably getting a little bit of blood in the water. Do we try to blow them up that way because their offensive line is not holding up? Or do we expect them to do what Steven said, which is maybe now pass first, run second? Yeah. All these coaches, Matt, are going to spit out, we have to establish the run, establish the run, establish the run. It's the cliche Play-Doh factory. But the difference now is that he really got ticked off at that a little bit, because what that does is it throws in the towel on an identity that this team wants to still have. So if you admit, yep, we've got a good quarterback and great weapons, we can spread people out, we can hurt them that way, we're probably going to be more of a pass-heavy offense, it would be counterintuitive to his own mind thinking, holy cow, I'm really at this point in the season, especially going into the tough maybe weather months, tough team months, we can never abandon the run. However, the reality of the situation is, which is what we couldn't get to today because we don't know yet, is his true feeling on whether this offensive line is going to be able to be patched together to create a championship football team.
He would never, I think, give us the full honest answer on how he feels about the offensive line, because I have to imagine there's a little bit of shading of lack of confidence there, just based off of what he saw when Zen was in there. And he mentioned that Zen struggled. We all saw it with our own eyes. And now there's question marks about whether or not Zen's actually going to be available this week. We have no idea. He's got to get through a week of practice to see whether or not he's going to be in there. And it sounded like, to me, if he can go, there wasn't a stamping of he 100% is going to be the left tackle on Saturday.
Originally it was, and then I think he circled back to it when he was asked again and said there will still be an evaluation even if he can go.
Going back to what Stephen Means asked Coach Day, because I thought that was a good question based off of where your personnel is currently and what you have when it comes to weaponry. Would you want to lean more towards the pass? Just the percentage is shifting a little bit towards the pass. I don't know if you want to be 70-30 pass or 80-20 pass. I think that'd be a bit ridiculous. But now with what we all saw with the offensive line that could not push Nebraska around and move the line of scrimmage consistently, is there something else you can go to? And that something else could be a real strength in Emeka and Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate having himself a coming out party on Saturday. I actually appreciated the question. One thing, I don't know if he was asked and maybe I was missed it, and something we hear from coaches a lot when it comes to their run game struggling, let's say the traditional way, is getting the ball out quickly east to west to your wide receivers, because coaches like to label that sometimes an extension of the run game. I don't think he would give away what they want to do on Saturday, but I won't be surprised if we start to see some of that.
No
because
doubt.
You can't just keep running yourself into this brick wall and wanting to be something and wanting to be something and wanting to prove something. I want to do a windmill and dunk on a 10-foot rim. I'm not 6'4". I don't have those bunnies. So it just comes down to what you can and cannot do physically. And right now, maybe Ohio State does need to shift into a different gear, which I think that they can do, and still every once in a while make it respectable. We see this from the Bengals every single week. You know, when you deal with the Bengals, you're not going to have your defense feel like, hey, we got to stack the box and stop Zach Moss and Chase Brown. That hasn't been their identity. You know what you got to stop. And it's the aerial attack between T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow. And so I've always looked at Ohio State's roster this year and said, man, they can go into any game, I feel like, and get after a defense whichever way that they want to. So I understand. Coach Day, Coach Kelly, they want the balance. I'm all for it. But I think you may be at a point in time to where, hey, that wide receiver room, that's highly touted and rightfully so, you got to put the squad on your back for a little bit here and maybe create more offense than what we've been asking you to create so far.
Yeah, let it loose a little bit, and maybe that's not in his DNA. Maybe because when they got Will Howard, it was about making the routine play routinely. But we've seen them hit up teams on first down because the play action still exists on first down, because teams at that point don't know that you can't run the ball. Yeah. What is disappointing is because on 4th and 1, when you line up, you feel like you should be able to do something. But with this offensive line, you may not be able to. Here's what I do admire. I admire that he doesn't get to the podium and make excuses. He doesn't. He doesn't say those things about guys. We just lost our big left, guy. We've lost guys on the offensive line. We've always tried to create depth. I've told you that before, but right now we're at a real alarming level of where we are offensively. It's our job to get them coached up and make sure they're ready. I think what Buckeye fan felt coming off the Oregon game is that 2 weeks to get right and to make it look right should have been better. It should have looked better, especially in certain moments. Yeah. He's right. At the end of the day, they won the damn game. And, I could hear a lot of Urban in him at the end, like, let's go win the game.
That's all you can do.
And it's about winning games. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily about what we talk about every week, which is measuring them in a big picture sense. I know that's in the back of his mind because he's human and he's thinking ahead and he's thinking about, can we earn that bye and all that? But it's not taking up his focus like it would be ours or fans, because he's got some real micro concerns now about his team going into this game. But he did not sell on that we're a different team than we were when we started the year. He wasn't selling that to fans, nor would they probably buy it. I agree with your point on now using these weapons, and maybe the Will Howard in the run game that we've seen periodically needs to be a big part of it. And by the way, these are the kinds of games that winning by any way possible is what happens. We've seen this, even though this has been very one-sided. The other thing that didn't come out of today was that Ryan Day has another top 5 matchup in front of him. And he has not been great in top 5 matchups, and that's probably putting it mildly. He was not asked about that. I don't think his focus would be on that. Yeah. But there has to be it's
a real thing.
A real thing for him, because when he beat Notre Dame, and the first thing he wanted to say was, where's that Lou Holtz guy? Like, you could tell that because, listen,
of course, he's human.
And he's competitive.
Yes.
And he's one of those guys that certainly is going to hear things.
Where are we at? 2-6 or 2-7? I think in these top 5 matchups. I believe that's the record.
I think it's 2-6. I've seen 1-7, but I don't know what people.
I think it's 2-7. I believe
it's
2-6. 2-6. Okay, so whatever it is, that's
against
where we're
top 5.
To your point, it hasn't been great, and he's human, and he's had to hear that narrative swirl around his name, and that's also baked into all that is the 3 consecutive losses to your rival. And so, yes, I expect Coach Day to be fired up about those things. I would be a little bit, puzzled if he wasn't fired up about that, but he's never going to put his personal record out in the public ahead of the team. Now, maybe behind closed doors, absolutely, there's probably lighting a fire under him because he was brought here to win those games and win Big Ten championships and all the other good stuff that comes along with it. Going back to the offensive identity and what we've been talking about, maybe you get into a little bit more of the heavy personnel, right? Like the tight end room, 12 personnel. When you're struggling with an offensive line, we've seen that can help you out in certain situations. I'd be curious.
The T formation, Matty?
Anything you got to do, right?
Patrick Gerd.
I don't know who that is.
Well, he's the lead. He's been a lead blocker in all of the. He's been one. So he's the kid from New Albany.
Berg, G. Scott, all those guys. Come on down, right? When you talk about lining up,
6'4", 250.
That's what you got to do in situations like this when your offensive line is struggling. Get more bodies down there. Because here's the other thing: when we talk about the passing attack, going to a higher level. This might not be the game where you really want to allow Abdel Carter and that defensive line to tee off on an offensive line that's struggling. So that's the give and take in this too. We're like, oh, okay, you know what? We want to get the ball to Emeka and Jeremiah more, but you also don't want to put an offensive line that's struggling and banged up with backups in now against one of the best pass rushers in the entire conference. Those are tough decisions that they got to make going into Saturday.
Yeah, you don't want to fight one-handed based on either running only to one side or making sure. But here's the other thing. I'm not just putting Ryan Day in front of that thing. James Franklin is as bad of a coach in top 5 games as we've seen in a long time. Yeah. His record against Ohio State is abysmal. I think he has 1 win out of 10 times he's played him. So now he gets him at his place, and he's got a quarterback issue of his own. And so when you're Penn State and your record against Ohio State and Michigan is like 4-16 or whatever it is, then you're feeling more pressure than Ryan Day is. I don't know who technically needs the game more. I feel like maybe since Ohio State has a loss already, they probably would need it more.
Oh, no question.
But it's one of those things that it is on the road for Ohio State. So there's going to be some weight in that in the committee. If they lose an identical game like they lost to Oregon, not a shootout, but if they lost a one-pointer, like it's going to fall more on the home team, the team that was, at home that should have had the advantage anyway, even though Penn State is an underdog going into this weekend. Listen, it was one of those press conferences that – was quick. It was to the point. He held some things back, certainly, that he knows he has to. But there's nothing that's going to magically snap your fingers and fix third down other than, I don't know, I'd have to go back and look at every third down. They're not all created equal. Some are 3rd and 6, some are 3rd and 9, some are 3rd and 3. Like, we don't know. And see whether it's play calling, see whether it is that, see whether it's execution, see whether it is all on the offensive line. Yeah. The one that I did notice when it led to the missed field goal, the one that blew the momentum for them, was that the O-line did not hold up again, and Will had to sprint out left, and he got caught. Now, maybe at that point, he could have outran them. I have to go back and look, and then they missed a field goal, and the momentum changed. That was on a 3rd and 6 when they went empty, and the O-line just didn't hold up. On 4th and 1, they couldn't move the line. So there are a lot of things there. He's right. It's not just on one guy, even though Michalski certainly took his abuse on Saturday.
And Coach Day's an offensive guy at his core. He's a quarterback. So that stuff absolutely is going to, he cares about every single unit, but that's his bread and butter is offense, good quarterback play, and creative offense week in and week out. And so for him to sit back and watch his offense not be able to execute on money down, I could understand his frustration. And you mentioned some of the down and distances for those third downs. That is the issue when you don't have a good run game on 1st and 2nd down, as you're putting your offense behind the 8 ball. And this week, that just can't happen. So hopefully they will be able to punch Penn State in the mouth on 1st and 2nd down with some rushing output throughout the game, because if not, that's going to put your offensive line in a tough spot dealing with a good pass rush coming from the Nittany Lions.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio State's hit some home runs, so I think their rushing yards per game is somewhere in the 180 range or something like 185. I think Penn State's is a little higher than that, but it's not like it's massively over 200 a game. So they're both dealing with it, and now the Penn State may have to go to a running quarterback. But I'm with you. I think the Will Howard just go get it kind of stuff is probably coming now. Like, they're going to need him. They're going to need him to have his instincts on point. And you're right. They may have to get the ball out quick, let the weapons do the work, and kind of filter in the running game as they go. We'll come back. We'll filter in some Ryan Day sound bites along the way. When we come back, a little Fool's Paradise. And you want miracles, Maddie? I give you fantasy football.
Okay.
Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We test marketed naming the show A Guy and His Butlers.
Oh, that is very touching.
But we thought Bishop and Friends had a better ring to it.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan.
APCO Windows, Siding, and Decks is a family company my dad started in 1962. We don't rely on sales gimmicks, so get multiple estimates. Just make sure one of them is from APCO.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
James Laurinaitis for Custom Air. Custom Air is devoted to quality, customer service, and trust. They are always there when you need them, and they deliver on what they promise. That's how they do things. It's the Custom Air way. Custom Air, custom solutions, custom comfort. CustomAirColumbus.com.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire, or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-298-9532. 800-298-9532. Again, that's 800-298-9532. Coverage, deductibles, and claims may vary. For details, go to endurancewarranty.com.
A vote for Sherrod Brown is a vote against Donald Trump. Sherrod Brown has spent 31 years in Washington, D.C., backing radical liberal policies.
Late-term partial birth abortion, where the baby is partially delivered alive. Trans biological men in girls' sports and bathrooms. Puberty blockers and even sex change surgery for children. Amnesty for 11 million illegal immigrants.
Brown's liberal policies are the opposite of the Trump agenda, and Brown would oppose Trump at every turn. To undo the damage of the last 4 years, President Trump and Ohio need Republican Bernie Moreno in the Senate. 6 more years of Sherrod Brown? He's for they, them, not you. Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's way too liberal for Ohio.
Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just the slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
A.J. Hawk won a national title, a Super Bowl, and a Lombardi Award, but his weekly appearance on Morning Juice Fridays at 8:33 is the real highlight of his career. If he tells you otherwise, he's lying.
Sponsored by FanDuel.
The Fan.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A warm one is expected today. We are looking at highs around 80 in the metro area. A little bit cooler outside of town. Dry tonight with a low of 58. Dry tomorrow with a high of 80. Rain and wind expected late in the day on Halloween that could disrupt any trick-or-treating plans. I'm meteorologist Dylan Rubshad with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Let's scratch that fantasy football itch. It's Rothman and Ice's Fool's Paradise.
All right, boys, I'm not going to lie. I pulled a large piece of furniture out of my backside last night. As I'm watching, you know I have the Steelers defense, and the Steelers D has been so good to me this year. I am worried about their fantasy playoff schedule, which is at Philly, at Baltimore, home against KC. That is a murderer's row. But last night I'm watching the game. I needed like 16 points out of the defense. And I'm doing the math in my head, Maddie, and then the Steelers got a punt return for a touchdown. Mm-hmm. And there are flags everywhere. You think he ran into the kicker, but nope, it's on the Giants. Illegal shift or whatever. So that holds up. I'm not looking at the tally. I'm just in my head thinking, okay, I'm probably around 12 now. Then I come back later and I get a notification from Yahoo, and I know, and I'm reading it with like one eye open, like, matchup's getting close. And I'm going to need probably a sack or a pick. Yeah. So I go back and TJ Watt gets a sack. He's on. I'm like, okay, now it's on. And it lines up so perfectly that the Giants are going to get the ball down 8. Mm-hmm. So now we have sacks available, we have pick available, we have a Hail Mary pick available. Absolutely. And when Beanie Bishop juggles that ball, I'm like, please be in bounds. And what happens? That does it. I win by a deuce.
There we go.
So we are continuing to be undefeated at 8-0. We have, what is your new name? What is this name, CB? NFL Young Boy.
Yes, it is a nickname for George Pickens that was given to him by Deontay Johnson when he came into the league. I don't know if he's actually a big fan of it now, and he doesn't really go by it, but I think it was pretty fitting. because he's been going off.
And you won this week?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, very good week by my running backs. Pickens would have loved that touchdown. That was the 2 feet in, but really it was twice the same foot. But yeah, no.
Yes, that's right.
I've got quite an issue with C.J. Stroud, and I don't think I'm going to start C.J. Stroud this week. I think I'm going to hit the wire.
Manny, what do you think about that? You got 2 feet in, but it's the same foot.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that. It was pretty wild how that went down. Yeah, rough night for Pickens. Had a couple touchdowns ripped off the board. I know we'll do some Steelers talk at the top of the hour. It's over for me. Pour one out for your boy, mover of chains in the 10 hole in a 14-team league at 3-5. I had
one game out of the playoffs.
I had my chances the last few weeks where I was putting up over 90 points, but I was running into buzzsaws, and now it's curtains closed.
I don't think it is.
It's curtain.
You're not hitting the concede button, are you?
Who do you think he plays this week?
He plays me.
I lost. Oh, I didn't even know that. I don't even really care about this league anymore because I
bench them all then and gift me the win.
I lost Nico. I lost Ayuk for the year.
Yeah,
it's a wrap.
Keep grinding, man.
Bijan Robinson's been just mid for the most part this year.
It's a rough one.
Those my top picks have not delivered, or they just been crushed by injury.
So I certainly don't think you're out of the playoff hunt when the top 8 make it and you're sitting at 10, 1 game back. Plus, and here's what you pointed out, and I'll help you make your own argument. Your point total is better than almost all of the 4-4 teams, including the guy behind the glass. So you being only 1 game out and then being able to leapfrog, you could go from 10 to 6 or 5 with just a win and some help.
So you're telling me there's
chance. More than a chance. Plus, we're only 8 weeks in. You're not even close to being out of it.
CB, what quarterback do you want to pick up?
Oh, I'm picking up Jameis Winston.
Okay.
Without a doubt.
Unless I claim him.
Somebody dumped him.
Unless I claim him.
You want to let the folks know who had him? Cut him at 12:59 p.m.
The king of the castle, the Zim Reapers. They let him go. Listen. You know,
if you
like
take
the matchup.
Winston, I'll take Sam Darnold then.
Oh, up on the Minnesota.
Maybe
train.
I pick him up. Maybe it's time for me to dump Rodgers.
What's dangerous about the Jameis experience is that it was the perfect matchup for him. The worst pass defense in the league without their top 2 corners, and you still saw he was trying to hand away gifts.
But here's what you do know. He is going to continue to push the ball downfield.
He's going to sling
You're right. You got to take the good with the bad with the good.
Yeah.
But I do think from a fantasy standpoint, he is going to sling it. All right. So I'm first 8-0. CB is 7th now at 4-4. Maddie is 10th at 3-5. So we're 1-7-10. If the season ended today, 2 of us would be in the playoffs. We'd have 2 bullets.
All right, enough about us. Let's help the people. I think a tight end that you should be looking at if you need tight end help is Zach Ertz over there in Washington. Washington. AR, you got Jayden Daniels. It was a great pickup out of you. Zach Ertz, he's been pretty decent. The last 3 weeks, he got 11 targets on Sunday, 5, 5, and 8 the 3 weeks prior to that. So he's involved with their offense. So if you need some tight end help, I'd take a look at Zach Ertz.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny that. He's in there. I would say, and I have to look and see, the Seattle offense was so bad this past weekend. I don't know what Fant did in that offense. I'm just thinking of streaming tight ends off the top of my head. Yeah. I doubt Hunter Henry's out there. Maybe, I don't know how you believe in Conklin, but he does like to go to him. Rodgers does. Yeah, he does. So those are kind of the names that I would float out there.
If you need quarterback help, Bo Nix has turned things around to a certain degree. I'm not mad at that. And also wide receiver, I check out Cedric Tillman for CB's Brownies.
Yeah, I'm going to give Schefter a little credit on that. He was on ESPN on Sunday talking about long shots, and he went with Tillman as well.
There you go.
All righty. Those are your Fool's Paradise for today. We come back, and we stick with the Steel City.
Ooh.
And with a ridiculous streak. They're on a ridiculous streak that we all should have been benefiting from. I'll tell you what that is next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic.
Oh, yes.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey folks, Austin Ward here, and we all know consistency is key in sports. Think about it.
No matter how many points you put up in one game, it's the team that stays consistent that ends up winning a championship. The problem? Consistency is hard. For years, that's how I felt about my weight. I'd start strong, but could never stay the course. Then I found Awaken 180 weight loss, and now consistency isn't just a word, it's my reality. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. After dropping 12 pounds in my first week, I went on to lose 52 pounds total. Lost weight every week. Since then, the scoreboard has read the same every single month. October, 189 pounds. September, 189 pounds. August, 190. Okay, maybe a pound off. July, 189. The weight just stays off, and for free. Awaken 180 clients don't pay a dime in free maintenance for life. It's like free oil changes for the rest of your life. If you're looking for results that last, do what we all did and choose the solution for weight loss. It's online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text POWER to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text POWER to 42424. That's POWER to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
A vote for Sherrod Brown is a vote against Donald Trump. Sherrod Brown has spent 31 years in Washington, D.C., backing radical liberal policies.
Late-term partial birth abortion, where the baby is partially delivered alive. Trans biological men in girls' sports and bathrooms. Puberty blockers and even sex change surgery for children. Amnesty for 11 million illegal immigrants.
Brown's liberal policies are the opposite of the Trump agenda, and Brown would oppose Trump at every turn. To undo the damage of the last 4 years, President Trump and Ohio need Republican Bernie Moreno in the Senate. 6 more years of Sherrod Brown? He's for they, them, not you. Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's way too liberal for Ohio.
Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I got to fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're going to be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SAFE25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SAFE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SAFE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code SAFE25.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. Number 4 Ohio State on the road in Happy Valley, taking on number 3 Penn State this Saturday at noon. Ryan Day at his weekly press conference says it'll be a great challenge.
It'll be a challenge for our guys, and so we got to have a great week of preparation. And, I think our guys are going to be fired up to play in this game, and I think it's a great challenge for our guys up front coming off of last week. So, we're in it now, and we got a lot on the line this week. And so here we go. We've got to go win this game.
The Columbus Crew start their quest to become the 4th back-to-back MLS Cup champion when they host the New York Red Bulls in their Round 1 series opener tonight at 6:45. We could have a World Series champion tonight. The Dodgers leading the series 3-0 go for the sweep over the Yankees in New York. First pitch, 8:08. This one brought to you by Dormar Heating and Air Conditioning. Need an emergency repair? Dormar can be there today, guaranteed. DORMAR Heating.com.
It's Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, we'll get to a little jackets this hour. The old, the trend continues. Win-loss, 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 win.
I like to look at it as winning 2 out of your last 3. Glass half full type of guy.
Oh, the glass is more than half full.
There we go. We'll get to it.
I forgot about this streak. I don't know if you guys remembered it, but the Pittsburgh Steelers have won 21 straight Monday Night Football games at home.
Okay, that's crazy.
I'll double check it, but I think when I think about it, it does make sense to me that they would have that kind of deal at home. They've just been that kind of team over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I lied. It was 21 straight before. It's now 22.
22 straight home dubs
on MNF.
On MNF. It's a
dun, 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 dun.
It's a really good home environment. You could just feel the juice. It's been that way for years. The terrible towels, they get it rocking in there. What do? They do a song in the third quarter, don't
Renegade
they? Renegade
Sticks.
They got one of those traditions going on over there. And they are right now a football team that checks a lot of boxes. And I actually want to start with special teams because the Steelers over the last 4 weeks have made impactful plays on special teams, whether it's blocked field goals, blocked extra points. Last night, you get a punt return to the crib to put 7 points on the board. They are playing all 3 phases of the game very well. And so that is a team that has turned into a dangerous unit. And now they're sitting at 6-2. I get it. It was the Giants. The Giants were a mess or have been a mess, but they didn't look terrible.
By the way, Daniel Jones took a beating last night.
He really
and
did.
Kept on ticking.
He did. They lost their. They talked about it all throughout the broadcast.
I think I should have said licking and then ticking.
Oh,
that's the way the line goes. I kind of gave you half of it.
Okay. No,
right.
But you're right. You're right. He was getting beat up a lot. And, can we just give the man his gold jacket now in TJ Watt? Just give him the gold jacket right now because he is as stamped as you can be when it comes to being a Hall of Famer. Just closer type of stuff from him, a la Mariano Rivera, a la, well, can I still say Emmanuel Clase, or is that too soon out there?
Ask him.
Steve, is that too soon?
Probably.
Too soon. Yeah, okay, I won't do that to you. But you get my point. TJ Watt, 3rd and 7 in the 4th quarter, 3 minutes to go. AR, what are the Giants doing? Not chipping TJ Watt in that scenario. Like, how yesterday you talked about, like, us sitting on our couches and thinking we know more than these defensive coordinator.
I think we know more, but we can sense more. There's a complete difference.
Yeah.
I never wanted to say that the way I said it. I said it properly the other day on Monday night when San Francisco was there. I knew that they were going to scheme to get Kittle the ball there. Like, I could just feel it.
I'm watching that scenario, and I'm like, there's one man in black and gold or black and yellow that you need to stop in that moment. You're in Steeler territory inside their 20 with a chance to put points up on the board, and you leave the best defensive player in the game in one-on-one situation, and he makes you pay by getting past your right tackle and getting a strip sack on Daniel Jones, and that's all she wrote. TJ Watt, to me, is the scariest defensive player on planet Earth. I've said it, and I'm going to say it again. If I was starting a franchise and if I was building a defense, I'm starting with number 90 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's absolutely incredible, and after last night, 7th in the league in sacks, and he's number 1 in the NFL in forced fumbles with 4. So he's not just this pass rusher that just gets to the quarterback and wants to blow up the quarterback. He's so smart and calculated with how he goes about his business, and he's trying to get the ball out and does get the ball out. TJ Watt is just a dude. He's a problem.
Yeah. All right, I got a bigger problem for you.
What you got?
And I think that as nice as this season has gone for them, and maybe as unlikely as it feels to me, that the Steelers are right there and they might have another one of those, okay, get in but don't win a game, or maybe they do. They've won a few in a row now. They're leading the North. It got me thinking, now that they're having this good season again, what in the world are they going to do at quarterback for the future? Because they have a 35-year-old dude who obviously still has some life left. Give Tomlin his praise for making the switch because they wanted to level up in whatever they could. He's certainly not going to pay Justin Fields.
That seems unlikely.
Like they're both unrestricted free agents at the end of the year. So do you bring back Russ? That's the future.
I think that's
go to the draft and try to find, because their record's going to be so.
You're not going to be bad enough to get one of the elite quarterbacks in the draft.
What in the world? And I know that your answer a while back was try to wait Dak out, and then he doesn't.
Highest paid player in the league.
And I don't know if Pittsburgh should have made, who knows? It would depend on how the season ends for Dak. If he waited out and he bet on himself, you would have had to wait till the end of the season to really feel like he was worth the investment for Pittsburgh. But
I would have cut the check based off what I've seen, because of what I mentioned. This, no matter who you are at quarterback, this franchise has been thirsting for somebody to just get under center and be competent.
What are they going to do?
They're going to, I believe that they're going to make Russell Wilson their quarterback for the immediate future, not the long-term future. So I think what I would try to do is I would try to work out a 2-year deal with Russell Wilson.
But you're never, my point is, what are you doing to help you win a Super Bowl? You're Pittsburgh.
What you're trying to do is you're going to keep the guy that is keeping the ship steady right now. I get what you're asking.
Are you drafting a first-round quarterback? My feeling is, you are.
If Russ keeps playing this way, I'm not.
Let's say they're picking, I'm just going to make this up. Let's say they're picking 25.
I'm not drafting a quarterback. I'm not doing it. I with this roster that we have, I would try to, because here's the other thing, too. Their offensive line has been beat up by injury. They're still running the rock really well. Shout out to Najee Harris. 3 straight games of at least 100 yards. He looks phenomenal right now. So credit to them for getting that offensive line intact. They've drafted young at their offensive line. So that looks to be secure for the future when all those guys come back from injury. Their defense is really good. I would go get another playmaker in the draft and roll with Mr. Unlimited. He's been fine. And I think these type of rosters, when you can get that type of quarterback play, the stuff that they got from Russ the last 2 weeks, you can get in the mix and be a problem in the playoffs. I get what you're asking for. Who's the guy that's going to give us the longest runway? Who's the guy that's really going to raise our ceiling?
They don't care about winning 9, 10
Where do they get that guy, though, AR? You're not dropping a rookie quarterback into this
I'm
mix.
not saying I got the answer. I'm saying I think it's the biggest problem right now on a team that is celebrating their season is that I don't know where they go. I agree with you if Russ stays healthy, because I was reading stories in September, and you were too, about, well, the Steelers just found their future quarterback in Justin Fields, like he was playing that well. But I don't think they're going to back up the truck for him, especially now that you've gone away from him. If anything, you're going to pay the vet to try to keep it afloat until you can find somebody, but they're never going to be bad enough to draft one of the elite guys. So my point is, listen, they swung and missed on Kenny Pickett. They did. I think they go back to that well and get Jalen Milroe or somebody that is going to give them some depth and stability at the position. And what if Russ gets injured? Like, you do have to have some stability. I think it's the weirdest problem right now going, one of them in the NFL, which is what the Steelers will do at that position in the future.
I just don't know if a Jalen Milroe type will be around with where they're picking. Jalen Milroe might come back to college next year with the way that he's playing right now, his up and down type of play. So Shedeur,
Cam Ward,
those guys are gone.
Absolutely.
They're
Shedeur,
gone.
Cam will be gone.
So I'm building out the roster.
Nussmeier, will he be gone? The kid from LSU.
He's fine to me.
Yeah. Well, no, listen, they're only in the camp of fine right now.
Then that's why
they're not.
That's why I'm taking BPA. I'm getting another playmaker opposite George Pickens, and I'm rolling that way. So,
and then maybe if things go bad, you will eventually be bad enough to be picking.
Right. And maybe like you look at what your team did, the Vikings. You hit Sam Darnold with a 1-year, $10 million deal. Would it be the worst thing if they went 2 for 20 with Russell Wilson, or 2 for, I don't know, 40?
Depends what he does this year.
If he keeps doing this, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer if he keeps doing this. You got to give him credit. He looks good. The way Russell Wilson has looked right now, he's looked, I think, so much better than what he looked his last year in Denver. I didn't see this coming. What was he at last night? 70% completion percentage? He's keeping the ship steady, and that's all you need when you got good special teams and a good defense.
He's running a little bit again.
Yeah.
He's got the running game to lean on. His passes look fairly on point. He's giving the team a pretty good chance of winning that defense, and they got a special teams. Listen, they only won by 8 last night against the Giants at home, and they needed a special teams touchdown.
Hey,
so it's not like
that's the league, right?
No, and I get it. I just think they're certainly not asking Russ to do everything, which is good. I'm looking at a list right now of like free agents in 2025. You know, Darnold will be a free agent. They're not going to go for him. Who else? Who's
on the list? What you looking at?
There's no. I mean, it's Darnold, it's Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Jacoby Brissett, Taylor Heineke, Mariota, Drew Lock, Stidham, Dalton.
You're stumbling into your answer.
Jameis.
Your answer is this guy.
Mr. Unlimited.
Yeah. No. I believe me. I know. It came to me in the commercial break that we were just about to talk about celebrating how good this team is and unlikely good.
And we should
And yet they have the biggest future problem they could ever want. It's the quarterback. They just don't know. Unless you're right, unless Russ has 2 to 3 years of good football in him still. I don't know if it's championship football, but it may be efficient enough.
We'll find out if it's
a good
championship
story.
football this year. We will find out this year, but you got to give them their flowers right now. They've won 3 games in a row. Mike Tomlin looks to be absolutely correct in making the quarterback change. They're 6-2 in this division. Their schedule gets a lot tougher. We talked about that when we first saw the schedule. And Vegas right now still has them in the 2-hole to win the division. They've got the Ravens at -170 and the Steelers at +180. But being where our feet are right now, you got to give them some love for the way that they're executing in all 3 phases of the game.
Yeah, and as weird as it sounds, Daniel Jones did hurt them with the pass last night. He just didn't get all the way there. Tyrone Tracy hurt them in the running game. He was really good. But the Steelers found a way, and Russ, as you say, is at the controls.
Mr. Unlimited.
It's amazing how
I love it.
How it played out one way, and now it's back the other way. Still a lot of season to go. Let's not.
Who they got next, real quick? They just got done with the Giants, the Commanders. Okay, that'll be a fun little showing there after a bye. So they're on bye this week.
Steelers are on bye,
and then they have not played a divisional game yet.
Nope, it's loaded up, backloaded.
It's real.
There's a lot of orange in their schedule starting week 10. All right, we come back. Maddie, only 8 of 82.
Okay.
But you know what I like to say. If the season ended today.
Talk about it.
Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
If you're struggling with ED or your performance is down and your belly fat is growing, listen up. You've got one life. Now is the time to act.
At the Columbus Men's Clinic, we're not just healthcare, we're your secret weapon. Don't wait another day. Here's why you need to act right now.
Every moment you delay, your condition could worsen. It's not just about sex, it's about your heart, your relationship, your life.
The Columbus Men's Clinic has over 10 years of proven results for low testosterone and increasing drive, energy level, and performance. We've introduced ED and enhancement treatments so exclusive, you'll wonder why you waited.
Procrastination is the thief of time. When it comes to your sexual health, you can't afford to wait. Join the League of Gentlemen who've walked out of our doors with a swagger.
Call the Columbus Men's Clinic at 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. Book your $99 male performance consultation now, including blood work. Call 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. The Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Bo Bishop here. Join us for the Make a Difference Gala, High Bank Distillery, November 12th. It's bourbon, food, and fun with Brady Quinn, Bobby Carpenter, and me. The gala benefits the Third and Goal Foundation, making a difference in the lives of veterans. Get your tickets today at 971thefan.com. 21 or older, please drink responsibly.
Your husband is pretty handy to have around. He makes the world's best mac and cheese.
Lunch is ready.
He's in the Tickle Monster Hall of Fame. And he can teach anyone how to throw strikes. But a busted pipe in a basement full of water?
Honey, I think we need a plumber.
Is a little out of his league. That's where a homeowner's policy from Shelter Insurance comes in handy. We'll help get your house back in order and your husband back to what he does best.
Find an agent at shelterinsurance.com. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
The Christmas cash giveaways now at UDF. With UDrive Plus, 1 in 7 can play to win prizes instantly, including $1,000 weekly by buying specially marked items at UDF. No purchase necessary. Visit udrivecontest.com for official rules.
This report is sponsored by AAA Car Care Plus. Tires worn down from all the summer driving? Come into your local AAA Car Care Plus between August 1st and August 31st and save up to $180 on select sets of 4 Veretta Stein tires. Only at AAA Car Care Plus locations. See store for details.
You know, Ohio's Supreme Court makes headlines for the wrong reasons. They even ruled it's okay for boneless chicken wings to have bones that can choke kids.
But we can stop their extreme one-party politics by voting for Mike Donnelly, Melody Stewart, and Lisa Forbes for Ohio's Supreme Court.
Right. Ohio's newspapers say Donnelly, Stewart, and Forbes are the clear choice.
We need an experienced, independent court we can trust, and Donnelly, Stewart, and Forbes will judge the Reproductive Freedom Amendment fairly and honestly, protecting our rights, safety, and families.
Ohioans deserve independent justice, transparency, and equal treatment under the law. That's why we really need Donnelly, Stewart, and Forbes to provide checks and balances.
Don't stop fighting for your rights, freedoms, and choices. But do remember to vote for Mike Donnelly, Melody Stewart, and Lisa Forbes.
Paid for by Donnelly for Supreme Court, Stewart for Ohio Supreme Court, and Forbes for Justice.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Just when you think we're in fall, we are back to summer. Near record high temperatures today with a high of 80 in Columbus. Look for plenty of clouds out there today. Dry but partly cloudy on Wednesday with a high of 80. And then tracking rain and wind just in time for Thursday evening. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Fascinating, informative, covered in dog slobber. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, Ice. Are we giving away tickets?
Yes, we are. We mentioned it earlier, but if you hopped on during the presser and missed what we said, we're giving away 2 tickets to see AEW Collision at Nationwide Arena Saturday, December 7th. Tickets on sale now via Ticketmaster. So if you're a wrestling head like I am, stick with us because right around 2 o'clock, we're going to give away these tickets to see AEW Collision.
Very nice. All right, stay tuned for that. We'll come up with some sort of a question for you. Have to be listening to answer. Nothing Googleable. All right, so this is, we hope. Although when CB was off and Cole and CB part 2 was filling in, he dropped a trivia question. And I was doing the show with Adam King.
Yeah.
We both jumped him. It's nope, against the rules. As against our rules.
Can't look up anything.
No, yeah.
You can't look up
It's got to be something that you heard on the program that you couldn't find on the internet.
So are you saying Cole is CB 2.0?
Well, at that point, he is a CB.
When you're 2.0, doesn't that make you the better version? Is that how that works?
Advanced. Well, he's a younger version, but I don't know if he's...
How do you feel about this?
CB, I don't know if he's better because he's younger doesn't make him better.
Hey, it's motivation for me. That's all I care about.
It's the Russell Wilson, Justin Fields argument.
Motivation.
Just because he's younger doesn't make him better.
Explain that. Why is it motivation for you?
And what are you going to do with it?
I mean, I'm going to work harder. You're not going to see anyone work harder than me to get to 3.0.
This guy. 4 to 6A to B energy over there.
The laughs you heard from Dayton were loud. All right. So we do have a hockey team here.
Yeah, man.
And it's one of those deals that I watched them last night. I told you this last week when somebody asked me if they were good, and I didn't really know how to answer it. So I answered it with they're definitely competitive. Mm-hmm. But if you get some of the goaltending, and give it to Elvis last night. Yeah. Elvis has been out for a couple weeks. Yeah. There was a giveaway early in that game that he needed to come up with a big save. And the fact that the power play, I had somebody tweet me on the power play on how much better it is. It's not better statistically. It's not even better in recent past years. We're always hovering around 15, 16, 17%. We're always there. It's the way it looks. It's the movement. It's the chances. Yes, they cashed in early, and it was great. But I thought the couple real nice saves by Elvis, especially on the rush because you knew the Oilers were going to come. The fact that Connor McDavid slid out of that game early certainly didn't hurt them. The fact that they had to kill off a 5-on-3, which was big, and then they drew a penalty of their own when they were in 4-on-4. But when you are giving up, when you shoot 6 shots on goal and you score 3 of them, and I did it again. I looked at the odds. I looked at the odds because I'm trying to track this because this is what we fell into last year, which was that this team could never seal up a lead. And when they got a lead, they either played way too conservative or they just, I don't know, their intensity was gone. And then when that other team got a goal, the psychology of it just kind of seeped in like, uh-oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
And the Oilers were 4-1 when they were down 3-0. And I've looked at these over the years, and I'm not taking a bite at it anymore. And it's one of those things. And Dean Evison talked about it after the game, about how they played against that team when they had the lead.
We just want to continue to do the right things that allowed us to get to that 3 without taking chances. Now, I'm not saying, we're not taking chances when it's 0-0 either. We're just doing the right things in those crucial areas of the rink and then the crucial times in the game. And we had a few tonight, and we handled them the right way.
AR, I like the tone that they're setting early in some of these games. When you look at their last 2 wins against Toronto and Edmonton last night, I mean, they've scored 3 goals in the first period of each of those games, but it's also the execution after that. And you saw yesterday them just continuing to push the pace and just not let up on the gas pedal at all. And I think that's a great sign to see early on in the season, because you talked about how we felt as a fan base just watching this team where they did get up, and it's kind of, I likened it a little bit to having a bad bullpen in baseball, right? You get up on a team and you know the bullpen door comes open and you're just like, I don't know. Like that home run's coming, we're going to give up the lead. And it's a terrible feeling to have, but just the combination that we saw last night of those guys lighting up the net again. And this is, I think, the 3rd or 4th time that they scored 6 goals in a game this season.
I think 4. I think they've done 4
times this year. Yeah, I think you're right.
Because at Colorado, they lit it up for 6.
Yeah, I think you're right. This is the 4th time they scored 6 goals in the game. And I don't think any of us had on our bingo cards the Jackets being top 5 in the league in goals per game. Now, we got a long way to go. We all understand that, but I like that they can apply pressure in these matchups, and teams know that this isn't just going to be this scrappy little team with the young guys that are still trying to figure it out. the identity right now of the Jackets, I think, is turning into what can be a complete team. And I just love the pressure that they can apply week in and week out, and goaltenders knowing that it's not going to be a comfortable night for them.
So we like to say around here, and they like to say how hardworking they are. When we always ask them about their identity, it's that no one's going to outwork us. We may not be the most talented team in the league or have as much skill as other people, but no one's going to outwork them. And what I've seen early through 8 is exactly that. Not every shift, every period, but last night especially, I see a team that's winning neutral ice pucks, that's winning board battles, that's going to the blue, that's going underneath the goal line, that's the extra pass. I thought Sillinger was fantastic last night. Fantilli was flying around the ice. Monahan was going where he needed to go. That's a vet who knows where he needs to be. Marchie with a smart shot early on the power play. It was to a spot. It wasn't to the net. Monty comes in, gets the deflection. They are playing with some IQ here and some effort, and that combination with the goaltending is leading to some wins. Now, I want to be real about it. You talked about them jumping on teams. This is what you have to recognize, that a handful of teams that they've played so far this season are coming in, that they're getting on a back-to-back. And guess what? That's when you do what you talked about. Yeah. When you get teams that have to come in, having played the night before, like the Oilers did, like Toronto did, like other teams have, you have to jump on them. They were getting the benefit of taking on some backup goalies early. But this is what you have to know, and you can't just say it. You have to do it, and last night they did. And the key to it all, honestly, was Elvis making some saves early that kept that momentum, and then obviously putting the puck in the net at the end of the day is the most important part. But I saw them working hard, and they were working toward the net and under the line, and guys making extra passes. Different. I mean, Matthew Olivier's been phenomenal so far. And so it's. I just think there's an attitude about this team that they've carried over, and we talked about whether they were going to get closer from it, have a more of an identity, stay in their structure. Dean was selling that to us at the training camp, and the good news is it hasn't been just talk. They've been skating it, and it's great to see. They will take on the Islanders on
tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow?
I believe so.
Okay. And then they play another game Friday. And here's some good news for you. The Islanders are playing Wednesday night. I'm sorry, tonight.
Tonight?
Yeah. So
there we go. The trend could continue.
Maybe they get another team on a back-to-back. Now, they've been shuffling with Sorokin and Varlamov. I don't know what goalie they would get. But either way, they will get another team that's playing tonight that has to come in here tomorrow.
You talk about their goaltenders. You know what The Rock used to say? It doesn't matter what goaltender you have in net. Come on.
Let me pay off on the tease real fast.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
The season ended today, they'd be in the playoffs.
Come on, man.
It's 8 of 82. I understand what I'm saying, but I'm having fun with it. They'd be the second wild card if it ended today. We got Tyvis Powell coming back. Maddie, will he ever play again in Cleveland? And you know who he is. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
This promo is brought to you by Common Man and Timmy Hall's Ping Pong Game. The Fan.
There was a time where I woke up every day and my knee kept bothering me. I wondered, would it ever get better? I'd like to go out and run. I'd like to go play golf. I'd like to hang out with my friends at the pool, go off the diving board, play with my kids, do the stuff that I wanted to do. I looked at having surgery, thought that's not the answer. Don't want to do that. I've had plenty of surgeries in my life. I didn't want to be on medication and just keep pounding ibuprofen and pain pills. That wasn't going to be the answer. So I want to get real, lasting relief, as thousands of patients will tell you. So I went over to QC Kinetics and talked to Dr. Ray Tesner. I even brought my dad with me and said, hey, he's got a bad knee too. He's at a little later stage in life. Could this work for him? QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in cellular therapies, including your own body's healing properties. That's what I wanted, to get healed up and do it the natural way. The choice is yours. So go check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus. They've got offices in Dublin and in Gehenna, or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Reichert Chevy's dealing in Dublin.
$2,500 low price guarantee.
With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car. Shop hundreds of vehicles at ReichertChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. We're dealing.
Ben Sadler, Assistant Vice President, Commercial Lending, on what makes First Bank of Central Ohio successful.
What we do as a community bank is really, listening to, that company, finding the solutions that best need their business and is not just a universal product that you could get anywhere else.
Experience what it's like to be first at First Bank of Central Ohio. Visit fbcentralohio.com for more details. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Much like a vampire, we need to be invited into your house. But once we're in, we never leave. Listen to The Fan on your Alexa or Google Home smart speaker. Just say play 97.1 The Fan and prepare to be amazed. Do it now.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 2 trips to a Buckeye postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
One thing we keep hearing here in town, Wilson, is that the cost of Pella windows actually pleasantly surprises most people.
Pleasantly surprised?
You get the Pella next level quality and looks, but we also have 5 different lines to fit most budgets.
Our customers are almost always surprised, but it's never pleasant. Is there such thing as like angrily surprised?
Price is a little high.
Oh no, they're a lot high.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rate the leading and most trusted at PellaColumbus.com.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's winds blowing across a fruited plain, and also your new fire pit, which subsequently sets your gazebo ablaze. It's hard-hitting football, and an even harder-hitting price estimate from your general contractor. That's a star-spangled bummer. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like North America's #1 home fire safety brand, Kidda. Because on a day full of football sounds you love, like fight songs, roaring crowds, and your favorite commentators.
Like me, Kirk Herbstreit.
The last sound you want to hear is... Defend your game time with Kidda and the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Based on total household installations as of December 2023.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Breaking Down the Browns with Tyvis Powell.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys. For all your roofing, siding, and gutter needs, contact the Roofing Guys at theroofingguys.com.
He's the baller from Bedford, and he covers famous Jameis. And he is our friend Tyvis Powell. All right, so what changed? The only thing that changed is a guy slinging the football. You tell me, what did I see Sunday that was just different based on what they were operating with Deshaun?
I felt lied to this entire season. When you watch Deshaun and this offense go out there, you thought that the line play wasn't good, and you thought that these wide receivers couldn't create separation. And they make one, maybe 2 moves. You get Big Thanos at left tackle. That does help a lot. And you get a quarterback that plays with no fear. He gonna put that ball out there no matter what. And you see these receivers start to make plays. I mean, you seen Elijah Moore. You seen Cedric Tillman. Like that. Cedric Tillman, to me, has justified why they was finally able to trade DPJ last year and why maybe they may have been comfortable moving off of Amari Cooper, obviously other reasons with his contract. But, when they did that, everybody thought, okay, well, that means this front office is saying they punting on this season. And when you see this performance on Sunday, it's like, wait a minute. So these guys have been good. So it shows that they have been showing up in practice and they've been making plays. Hopefully this is something that can stick around, because if it can stick around, maybe we can make some noise and maybe talk playoffs later in the year.
When you watch the offense do their thing against Baltimore, was that the same exact stuff you saw from Joe Flacco? Because he came in last year, hit the ground running, and then that offense went to higher heights. Jameis comes in, similar style of quarterback to Flacco. I don't know if it's the exact same thing, and he hits the ground running. Did it look similar? Was it the exact same that we saw a year ago?
Well, first of all, Matty Ice, I'm glad that I can talk to you, and you're the one asking me that question. You know, did you see a lot of good football on Sunday? Because I did. But anyways, to answer your question, yeah, they're very similar, and I think that's a lot of this fan base was very upset about the fact that they moved off of Joe Flacco for Jameis Winston. But I think that they realize that, one, Jameis is younger, and Jameis still does the same thing that Joe Flacco does. Hopefully they learn from their mistakes. Let's say, obviously, like I said, it was one game. Jameis got away with some things, but he pushes the ball down the field, something that we didn't do. I mean, we was talking about 200 yards and 20 points. This man shattered that in one game. He still has some things to clean up. You know, he had the Jim Donovan's spirit was there because he helped them drop a couple of picks that should have been for sure picks. He's got to clean that up. But, you know, Joe Flacco was the same way, and everybody loved him. As long as his offensive output is better than the harm that he's causing. So if he's throwing more touchdowns than throwing picks, at least you got a chance, you know, and that's what he did on Sunday. He gave them the opportunity to win games by putting the ball down the field and seeing that and allowing these receivers to make plays. Listen, we didn't see David Njoku step up until Joe Flacco came in last year, and it seems like that's the same thing that's going on with these wide receivers and tight end this year.
Did you see anything? I mean, they played fairly well defensively against Lamar Jackson. He's kind of eating their lunch a little bit at times. It's not like he had a bad game, certainly, but they kind of held him in check. I don't know. I know he had a drop pass himself. Somebody dropped one in the middle of the field. Sun was in his eyes. But what did you see defensively against Lamar that you liked?
Well, I thought that they rushed the field. I mean, the pass rush was good because they didn't allow him to escape. And, you know, they kept sending guys that even if he avoided one, other guys were beating their blocks and still there to clean up things. So I love that. I thought the coverage was really good. I got to give Greg Newsome some credit because he's a guy that fans have been sour on this season, and he stepped up in a big way. You got to think, it was a point in time. Denzel goes out and Martin Emerson both was out, and you really didn't notice anything in the pass and attack. So these corners stepped up in a big way. Now, the challenge is they got to continue to accept that challenge. If Denzel's got another concussion, don't know where that's going to be. Obviously, 6 is the magic number to where, you know, teams they're very leery about giving you that helmet back. Because if you get another one and it's really bad, then you're on the hook for that for the rest of your life as an organization. So it'll be interesting to see where they go from there. But Martin Emerson looked pretty good in coverage. Geno looked good in coverage. And it was nice seeing Dale Pitt make the play at the end. Oh, he should have came down with a pick, but I ain't even going to fault him for that.
Talk about the matchup this week. You got the Chargers coming into town, the former Buckeye and J.K. Dobbins under Harbaugh's watch now. What are you looking for against LAC this weekend?
Well, I think it's going to be big for the linebackers. I mean, you were down Jordan Hicks, and I thought Mahmoud Diabate played really well. I mean, he was a name that I walked away with like, who is this guy, you know? And maybe I got a little soft spot in my heart for him because he's an undrafted guy trying to make it in his league, and he took advantage of his opportunity. Now that JOK he probably won't see the field. So now Devin Bush got to step in, and, you know, that scares me a little bit because it's been times where he's looked out of sync. So hopefully he can get it done. J.K. Dobbins, when he can get going, he can really hurt you. So it's going to be big there. It was crazy seeing Lab McConkey have a really big game. So that's going to help this secondary. I guess whoever's playing in the slot, probably Cam Mitchell will probably be the slot corner this game. So it'll be a big game for him. Trying to slow down Justin Herbert in that passing attack.
All right, I want to give you the chance to dunk on me publicly here because you and I went at it a couple years ago about Anthony Richardson, and it just came down here in the last couple minutes that Anthony Richardson, is being benched for Joe Flacco. So the floor is yours to dunk on me.
Well, you know, this is the thing, Matty. Dunking on you is wrong. You know, I would say, for a guy like me, I was just more experienced. I played the game. I've got to see good quarterback play in my time, and I kind of know what it looks like. And you was uneducated. You believe the hype, and you can't listen to the hype all the time. You got to take it for what it is. And you didn't do that, So you just fell victim. It's one of those mistakes that, when a kid makes a mistake and a parent grabs him and smacks his hands and tells him don't do that again. That's this situation right here.
Fair enough. Okay, you went easier on me.
I
than
thought he was going to say, if dunking on Maddie is wrong, I don't want to be right.
Matty Ice is a good guy. I'm not going to.
Of course he is.
Like that. He'll know for the future that.
Now listen,
I tell you that dude ain't good. He ain't good.
He was selling AR like a lot of people were in fantasy. And how could we fault him? The guy could be a beast at times, but.
If you got him on your fantasy team, I feel bad. You better go sprint to go get Joe Flacco right now.
Flacco's numbers are incredible right now. I mean,
he keeps doing it. It's crazy. The OG just keeps doing it.
You know what he's done this season? Wow. He's got over 700 passing yards, 7 touchdowns, and 1 pick.
Who, Joe Flacco?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I just seen Stephon Diggs out for the season, too, so that's not good for CJ. But, yeah, I got Josh Downs on my fantasy team, so I'm loving that.
All right, my man. By the way, if they ever do a statue of you, I hope it doesn't look like Dwayne Wade's, but we'll be all right. Just make sure you're in on the sculpting.
Well, the thing is, I would just tell them to take that head that's sitting in that office that you probably can see and just make it. There's the sculpture right there.
Perfect. We'll have it with the big C on it as well. All right, my man. Be well. Thanks, Tyvis.
All right, y'all. Go Bucks, go Browns.
Cavs. The Cavs are 4-0. Come on. He dropped the ball right there. Nice
now
win.
You can dunk on him.
Nice win at the Garden last night for the Cavs. It's a good one.
Yeah, you're right. He didn't add them in.
Come on, 4-0.
Yeah, trying to win some cash. If you want to make a great deal, go see my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road. Talk to Rich, and when you look at some of these lease deals on the 2024s and even the 25 HRV, 36 months for $279 a month. But the 24 Civic and the 24 Accord LX, both LX versions, 36 months, $249 a month on the Civic, $279 a month on the Accord. They got a rate starting as low as 0.9%. You know what Germain Honda of Dublin's going to do for you. Same-day service, no appointment necessary. If you want to look at their pre-owned, they have more than 300 vehicles to choose from. All the leases, 10,000 miles a year, $34.99 cash cap reduction, payments plus tax, tag, document fee. Away you go. They'll even do 0.9% on the 24 Prologue up to 36 months with approved credit. You can see them for all those details, but it is the place to go. They'll certainly have their Happy Honda Days coming up as the calendar turns, but go and scout yours right now at Germain Honda of Dublin. It's the Honda dealership, my friends over there at Germain Honda of Dublin. All right, we come back with a Buckeye Bulletin, and Ryan Day getting down to business. What does he expect in Happy Valley? You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We test marketed naming the show A Guy and His Butlers.
Oh, that is very touching.
But we thought Bishop and Friends had a better ring to it.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else. Like the best-selling RAV4. Now through November 4th, get 4.99 APR financing on a new gas-powered 2024 RAV4. Or lease a RAV4 LE for $339 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
APCO, windows, siding, and decks. Business First says we're the largest remodeler in town. Our philosophy is simple. We don't rely on sales gimmicks to get our customers. We rely on our reputation.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
Skyline is serving up special Halloween ways made with orange noodles this Wednesday and Thursday only. Stop in for Skyline Halloween ways or pick them up and take them home. October 30th and 31st only at participating Skyline restaurants while supplies last.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Guess what? Our ugly faces are on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan and watch all your favorite shows. Laptop, phone, tablet, smart TV, we're everywhere. Bring us in the bedroom with you. Yes, The Fan.
If you're struggling with ED or your performance is down and your belly fat is growing, listen up. You've got one life. Now is the time to act.
At the Columbus Men's Clinic, we're not just healthcare, we're your secret weapon. Don't wait another day. Here's why you need to act right now.
Every moment you delay, your condition could worsen. It's not just about sex, it's about your heart, your relationship, your life.
The Columbus Men's Clinic has over 10 years of proven results for low testosterone and increasing drive, energy level, and performance. We've introduced ED and enhancement treatments so exclusive, you'll wonder why you waited.
Procrastination is the thief of time. When it comes to your sexual health, you can't afford to wait. Join the League of Gentlemen who've walked out of our doors with a swagger.
Call the Columbus Men's Clinic at 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. Book your $99 male performance consultation now, including blood work. Call 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. The Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
If it's hot, it's here. The best new stuff is at GNC. GNC brings you some of the best new products first from brands like Optimum Nutrition, Ghost, Bloom, and more. GNC has the newest breakthroughs in muscle building, weight loss, and wellness, and the best energy drink flavors. If you heard about it at the gym, you can bet that conversation started at GNC. Ask a coach about the newest drops at your GNC store or shop our full collection online at gnc.com today. If it's hot, it's here. GNC.
Attention football fans, the season's heating up, and that means it's time for jaw-dropping plays, spectacular touchdowns, and memories that'll last a lifetime. So if you're looking to grab the best seats for all the excitement, Vivid Seats is your go-to playmaker. With an incredible selection of tickets and a game-changing rewards program, Vivid Seats is your ticket to every thrilling moment. Don't miss out. Experience it live with Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Saturday is game day on The Fan.
Sponsored by Riker Chevy.
Every game, every season, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another furnace breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day furnace installation.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time. Let me give you a quick update on the spread. It has, was it 4 yesterday?
You said 4.5.
No, it started at 4.5 and then went to 3.5 and then kind of settled at 4.
Okay.
It's back to 3.5 on Bet365.
Okay.
So it is a key number. It's across a key number. And so Ohio State's still favored by 3.5. They're not expecting a massive shootout. The over-under is 45.
What's the weather going to be like over there? Anybody know?
Should be decent.
Happy Valley?
Should be a nice fall.
What you got over there, CB?
Looks like low 60s, maybe high 50s at some point.
No rain?
I like it.
No
I didn't see any originally early in the week.
First game in November.
How's the windsock? Have you checked your windsock over there?
Windsock.
I don't have any correspondence on the ground there, so I'll have to wait until Friday to do that.
What's a windsock?
It's something that they would have at an airport.
Okay.
That would be able to kind of tell you.
Oh, interesting.
Well,
okay.
yeah.
Learned something new today. With you, I never know if it's a movie reference or what. So I'm always going to ask. But
I can get you if you want one. We can get you one.
Keep your money, big dog. Buy me a can of almonds or something.
That's right.
It's more valuable.
I don't know. I think it may be a good windsock that you could hang outside of your apartment just to look out the window and see.
Hey, what's going on today? Let me check my windsock.
Absolutely. You always want to check the windsock. All right, hang on. Let me get to Ryan Day here. So this will be interesting in preparing for both quarterbacks. He was asked about it today, and I thought it was a very good question, and he kind of made it out to be like, we're going to do that anyway.
Yeah, we'll prepare for, both guys being healthy and ready to go. And, they both bring different things to the table, but both are very effective in what they do. So, we'll go based on what we've seen and what's on the film. But, yeah, we have to know who's in the game.
It's Pribula. Pribula is the other guy, if you're not aware.
Oh, Pribula.
He's the guy that stepped in for Drew Aller last week when Drew went out. It's a knee injury, right? For Drew?
Feels like a knee.
Yeah, they're saying
Sounds
it's a
like a knee.
And
this kid can run, and he's not tiny.
No, he is, man. He absolutely can run. He got 6 carries in the game last week against Wisconsin, and so it's just the balance. But I don't think that's going to catch Ohio State by surprise. I mean, they've dealt with quarterbacks like that in the past. Their own starting quarterback and Will Howard has that type of skill set, so they see that in practice all the time. Not that it's apples to apples with Pribula and Will Howard, but Will absolutely can hurt you with his legs, as we all know. And so that shouldn't be an excuse. That should not be a thing that's going to blindside them, is Pribula out there running around here and there on Saturday, if he is the guy.
Yeah. Good kid. I think he's an athletic kid. We know that. Redshirt sophomore over there. He is 6'2". He is over 200 pounds, but he can move. And that's what helps you in these kinds of games. I was pitching that Will Howard needs to be that guy still. Or maybe they need to design him to be that guy, because we heard all about his running ability. And this is the kind of game on Saturday night, Ryan Day keeps talking about it, and this may be a little bit of a longer answer, and I can cut it off a little bit, but he really is not even entertaining the thought of, we're offensive lines in shambles. We may as well just sling it around.
The number one goal is to move the ball down the field, and so that has to get done. But you also are looking to, control the game by running the football and making sure that, you're establishing the run and controlling the run and winning the rushing yards. But when you, look at it on the sideline, you got to identify what's going on in the game. And if it's an adjustment that needs to be made, or somebody, just didn't execute it right, you're not just going to walk away from it. I mean, we were explosive when we shot the ball down the field. But that's not always going to happen. We have to make sure that we're establishing runs, we're staying effective, and then again converting on third down, because the more at bats you have during a drive, the better you're going to be. When you're not converting on third down, you're not keeping drives alive. To go 1 for 10, I mean, that's just unacceptable. So we're going to keep swinging at it, because we got to make sure that we're doing it the right way and making sure that we're winning the rushing yards, and especially in this game. And we got to win the turnover battle. We got to win the rushing yards. Got to win the X plays. And so, you got to go back to the drawing board and figure out what happened in the game, why it didn't get done, and get it fixed.
A lot of people want to point to, again, we're back to this intangible. Are they just not tough enough? I'm not buying that completely. I'm buying more of the reality of losing Simmons and having this be a question mark even before the season, and now having to patchwork this offensive line a little bit. So I don't know if it's just
I'm not questioning
peel the paint off the walls and everybody. But I do question a little bit, Matty. I don't think coming out of 2 weeks that they weren't ready, that the fuse should have been lit earlier in the game than it was when they got down 3 with 11 to go.
I hear you. Yeah. I hear you. For me personally, I'm not questioning their toughness. I think we can question their execution and their level of execution, but I get it, right? When you look at the Oregon game and the Nebraska game and not really being able to tote the rock the way that you would want to, or ways that we've seen them in the past, I think it comes down to the personnel that they have and needing to find a way to get those guys in position to where the offense as a whole can thrive. But it's something that you can gloss over a lot, is your offensive line play, but when it shows up the way that it has, specifically on Saturday in a negative way, it becomes the elephant in the room. And there's just no doubt that that's where this Ohio State offense is right now, and they're going to be so dependent on that unit being good up front against arguably one of the best defensive lines in the Big Ten. But just talent for talent, Penn State, we know they have guys over there, so they're going to do everything that they can. Coach Allen, right? We've seen him as a head coach at Indiana for years. He's going to apply different pressures up front for this offensive line that he's probably looking at on film as we speak and saying we can probably get after them there. So Ohio State has to find a way to counter what Coach Allen's going to do as their defensive coordinator over there.
Let's do a quick check-in on what color Ryan Day's mood ring is.
What a unbelievable opportunity right here. I mean, this is a chance to go to Indianapolis is on the line, and our guys are excited about playing in this game. I think the defense got a lot of confidence coming off of last week, the way that they played and creating TFLs and winning the game in the fourth quarter. I thought they were flying around. And so, if we can get the offense playing the way it has in the past, combined with the way we played on defense this past week, then, that's what we're looking for in this game.
All righty. We got all week to get ready for it. That's today's Buckeye Bulletin. All right, top of the hour, final hour on the way. We'll have a Sports Center update here, and then we'll come back with a little NFL true or false. Play along with us. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Anthony. If you want to make the best deal in town on a new Honda, make sure you visit my friends at your main Honda of Dublin. They're on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. And Rich tells me you're going to get 1.90% APR up to 60 months on most new 24s and 25 Hondas. They'll give you the details. Of course, you'll get same-day service, no appointment needed. And how about an extra $1,000 for your trade if you have a 2014 or newer vehicle? All with the great people at your main Honda of Dublin.
We've seen it before. Politicians and lobbyists playing games, drawing voting maps to keep power in their hands, not ours. Courts have ruled Ohio's voting districts unconstitutional 7 times, while our communities have been left out again and again. But this November, you have a chance to change that with Issue 1. Issue 1 will make it illegal for politicians to manipulate voting districts for themselves or their own party. Instead, it creates an open, transparent process where a diverse group of citizens, not politicians, will draw the lines. No more backroom deals, no more gerrymandering, just fairer maps that represent our communities. Issue 1 gives you and me the power to ensure everyone's vote counts. This is about real change, a chance to end the games and make our voices heard. So vote yes on Issue 1, fair representation, and power to the people. Paid for by citizens, not politicians.
Looking for a trusted heating and cooling company? James Laurinaitis here for Custom Air. When I come home from a football game, I know that I'm walking into comfort. That's because Custom Air is on my team. When Custom Air does my semi-annual maintenance checkup, I trust them to spot any issues early on, so it'll save me money down the road. Don't let your HVAC call for a timeout this season. Tackle fall and winter like a pro. Go to customairco.com and schedule your maintenance today. Custom solutions, custom comfort, Custom Air.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code Columbus now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code Columbus. Trust and Will is an online service providing legal forms and information. It is not a law firm and is not a substitute for the advice of an attorney.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. Number 4, Ohio State, continuing their preparations for a big-time matchup on the road against number 3, Penn State this Saturday at noon. On offense, Ryan Day says they need to be better on third down.
Convert on third down and keep drives going so you have more plays, because we didn't have very many plays. So when you do the math on it, you only have that many plays, the numbers are going to look the way they do. So, we'll always try to figure out ways to get the ball to our best players.
The Dodgers lead the World Series 3-0, and they could sweep the Yankees tonight in New York. First pitch set for 8:08 this evening. The Columbus Crew start their quest to become the 4th back-to-back MLS Cup champions when they host the New York Red Bulls in Round 1 series opener tonight at 6:45. This one's sponsored by Dormar Heating and Air Conditioning. Need an emergency repair? Dormar can be there today, guaranteed. Visit them at dormarheating.com.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Maxima Concrete. Visit MaximaConcrete.com today to schedule your free estimate.
All right, final hour of the program, Rothman and Ice. Austin Ward covers Ohio State, jumps on at 2:33 for our normal visit as we build the hype for the game at Penn State. Let's promise to give out our tickets.
Yeah, man. We're doing it now. We're doing it right now. Winner receives 2 tickets to see AEW Collision live at Nationwide Arena Saturday, December 7th. Tickets on sale now via Ticketmaster, but you can also get them right here, right now. All my wrestling brothers and sisters out there, it is your time to shine. 614-821-9710 is CB's hotline number. Earlier in the program, I mentioned I'm dealing with a bit of an injury right now. What injury am I dealing with? If you get it right, CB's got a pair of tickets to see AEW Collision at Nationwide Arena Saturday, December 7th. And again, his hotline number is 614-821-9710.
Can I give him a hint?
Sure.
It's tender. That's all. That's all I'll say.
Oh, man.
I know we're going to do true or false after he gives out the prize and all that.
Yeah. What do you got?
I keep coming back to this Ohio State-Penn State game, and I was reading something in SI earlier that we talked about earlier in the show, which is that we've seen this movie before. Ohio State, there's concern. Penn State suddenly is very capable. And what happens? What has always happened?
Joey Bosa happens
Ohio
at the
State
end of the
wins
game?
the game somehow. Yeah. And I don't know if that'll happen, but I know Vegas is thinking it might based on the fact that Ohio State's a 3.5-point favorite on the road against an undefeated team that's ranked higher than them in the polls, and Ohio State barely gets by Nebraska at home with 2 weeks to get ready for it.
If Drew Aller's healthy, where's that line?
I'm with you. I think that's the – but I would say this. I don't know if the look-ahead line, even for Aller's injury, wasn't that much different than this.
That's true.
Would it be – I would say – because I don't know if Aller is a difference maker yet. He's been good
this year.
But in this kind of a game, is he the difference maker?
We don't know. Because to your point, I love that you brought that up. That's a very good point to bring up. Because even going back to last year, when he was efficient with his play as a sophomore a year ago, in the big games, he wasn't good. He was not good at all against the likes of Ohio State and some of those teams. And I actually want to bring this up because I think it is
that game was winnable too.
Up. I mean, last year against Michigan, he was 10 of 22 for 70 yards. Against Ohio State a year ago, 18 of 42 AR for a $191. And so that is what he has to prove. There's no doubt about it, but we don't even know if the dude's going to play on Saturday. So you're right to bring this up when it comes to Penn State. They're 7-0, third in the country. All of these things, both head coaches are coming into this thing on a similar path as far as the big game stuff.
No doubt.
And can you do this, right? And can you win these games and show your fan base and show yourself and your players and all that stuff that, hey, I'm the guy that can lead us into big-time matchups against top 5, top 3 opponents, and we can get it done.
And knowing fully that the loser of this game is not eliminated. They're not out of it. Ohio State, certainly their strength of schedule, even if they lost a close one, which is if they lost, it would probably be close. Yes, I don't know if you're hammering the table with, well, our best wins are close losses. That's not usually an Ohio State motive. And if Indiana keeps winning, certainly they'll be ranked when they come in here. And then you fully expect them to beat Michigan. But, yeah, they don't have a lot to cling to. They don't. I mean, maybe it's Ohio State and the talent. It's a 12-team playoff. And you can't probably convince those committee members that Ohio State isn't one of the best 12 teams in this country, even at 10-2. Now, depending on how everything else falls out,
correct.
You're right. Would they maybe need a little help? Maybe. But I'm just not in the camp that they would ever be out of it, at least in my mind today, if they lost this game. But
all the championship ceiling and all of that stuff is all for naught if they don't figure out what to do with their offensive line. That period. Because if the offensive line plays at the level that they played at on Saturday, this team, I don't believe, can win a national championship. I don't even know if they can win the Big Ten with that offensive line. So I'm not even going down that road until I see what this offensive line looks like on Saturday. You go into Happy Valley and have some dudes up front that can hold up against Abdul Carter and company, then I'll start to get back in the mindset of, okay, then there's some long-term stuff that can be in play. They absolutely have the talent on both sides of the ball, but that unit is arguably the most important unit to your football team outside of what you get at quarterback. And if they can't raise the ceiling, to raise their level of play there, this team is going to be in trouble the rest of the way.
Yeah, that's very real. And it's a complete different – it really is a complete different game outside of that Aller. It's not a different game for Penn State. It's not a different game for them because they still have Aller, who they had last year, who didn't play well in the game. They still have Singleton. They still have Allen. Ohio State's are completely different.
Sorry,
no McCord, no Mayan. Think about the running backs who were in that game last year.
Yeah.
Mayan Williams, Chip Trainum, Kyle McCord's at quarterback. Marvin Harrison's receiving. Cade Stover is the – like, you want to talk about a drastic change at roster stuff when it comes to who Ohio State was last year in this game and who Penn State was. Penn State's bringing the same dudes. When I watched that game last year, I crushed Franklin. You had Nick Singleton and Katron Allen, and you hardly ran the ball. Neither one of them got double-digit carries in a game that you lost by 8 points, and you held Ohio State to 20.
Yeah, I know.
It was really bad coaching that has lost that game for him, and they've been close. But Penn State comes in this game, and I don't really know, honestly. I'm trying to think who they had at. Actually, their receivers would be different because they had Lambert Smith and is Theo Johnson. Was he?
You still got to worry about Tyler Warren. Yeah. Tyler Warren's he's a dude at tight end, and he put that on display in the game.
Caught one catch against them last year. Yeah.
So the
but
game,
it's different.
It is.
They have a lot of their returning guys. Ohio State has a drastically different offensive roster than they did last year.
But still high-level players.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I got distracted for a moment.
Let me guess, because I have no clue what this is.
CB rarely passes along good news.
So I'm going to guess, and I don't know this.
About my football team, but absolutely, we just got some good news because my Ravens just traded for Deontay
So you didn't
Johnson.
let me guess.
Oh, my.
And then... because you're too excited. And
my bad.
I'm like, can I guess? Can I guess? Can I please guess? Because I didn't know what it was. But I knew it was something that the Ravens got.
Needed. Come on, man. We're finally getting.
How does that help your defense?
It doesn't. But you know what? What is this saying? I don't know what I'm trying to say. My brain's all over the place. But
great offense beats a bad defense.
Yeah, something like that. We're just gonna try to outscore teams, man.
I'm sure whoever has Zay Flowers probably isn't very happy with this.
The man to the left, my left over here.
Wow, more opportunities.
I love this.
That's fine. He'll get open more.
I love this.
I'm okay. Now, let me ask you an honest question. Now, and I want you to bask in the glow of this. But yesterday, you sold us that you couldn't win a Super Bowl because your defense would end you. This is enough to change your complete opinion.
Who's to say that we're done making moves?
Well, you could get Harold Landry or get other.
Who's to say that a defensive move isn't coming?
How about this? What if you don't make a defensive move? Is this enough now
then
for you to say?
I would still be concerned, but I'd love fortifying what's already a very good offense now and going into games and defenses knowing the best running back in the league is an absolute monster, and now we got 3 receivers that you got to respect week in and week out. Was the bait man, and now Deontay Johnson.
True or false, since we're playing it now? True or false? You guys are now a legitimate Super Bowl contender by just adding Deontay Johnson.
I would still say false because you have to find a way to get off the field when you need to, and they haven't shown me that. So I'm not going to go crazy, but this is just.
Vegas would say you're wrong. Vegas has you guys as the second best favorite to win it all over the Lions.
I wouldn't be
over the Bills.
Listen, I love the song you're singing right now. I just don't see a Super Bowl defense. I don't. I see a Super Bowl offense right now, especially now with Deontay. I do see that.
But you are not a Super Bowl
team,
no. Even with this.
No. Because you got getting off the field against Josh Allen, Mahomes, like these guys, they haven't shown the ability to do that. Yeah. So I'll keep
you're going to get guys, you're going to get health. I mean, you got to get healthy.
My thing is, like, those guys were healthy. They still were getting off the
You're in a really tough spot because you guys are in the AFC, but I do think loading up with Derrick Henry and now him, that you guys should be able to keep the ball away from teams more than most. And I am in the camp of sometimes the best defense is a great offense, which I think is what we were trying to say.
Yeah,
and
thank you. That's what I was saying. That's exactly what I was looking for.
And so you're not that complete. I agree with you. The defensive breakdowns against the Browns were horrendous. But you also are that's what I'm saying. Aside from that, you're also a drop Jimmy away from winning the game and being able to get through it. So
had a lot of movement, AR, at the wide receivers getting moved all over the place, prior to the trade deadline coming up here in a few days. So Devontae Adams and Amari Cooper and now Deontay Johnson. It's been
I do like it though, CB, not for fantasy, but I know you guys do about that ticket I made like 3 weeks ago, which was just having the Ohio State Ravens parlay just to have it. I don't feel that confident as much in it as I did when I made it, but that was like $25 to win 1,000.
Not a bad bet.
But you had to hit them both, obviously. But I feel like, and the irony is, I have the second highest favorite in the NFL right now, which is you, and I have Ohio State's now dipped to third. I don't know if you guys knew that, behind Oregon, as far as odds to win it all. Yeah, but they're still. So I still have 3 as far as Vegas is concerned, and 2 as far as Vegas is concerned in the NFL.
So we got Deontay Johnson to Baltimore, Amari Cooper to Buffalo, Devontae Adams to the Jets, and DeAndre Hopkins to the Chiefs. So when you look at that, 4 AFC teams who in their minds believe that they are contenders. The Jets can't believe that anymore. But the Bills, Ravens, Chiefs looked at their team, looked at their quarterbacks that they have, and said, we got to go all in. And I think that's the smart thing to do. Josh Allen, Pat, and Lamar, viewed as 3 of the best in the league right now. Keep taking swings. Keep getting playmakers around those guys. I think that's smart by all 3 franchises.
Maddie, you heard me last time with Schefter before that trade, and I said, do you think the Chiefs will react to what the Jets and Buffalo have done? And he said, no. And they wound up going out and getting DeAndre Hopkins. So these teams realize it. They do. And I do think that when we looked at the AFC, it's a lot harder to determine who's coming out of the AFC. Like between Kansas City, Baltimore, Buffalo, maybe Houston, even though they just lost Diggs.
Man. Yeah, they're up against it now. But they will get Nico back, and that'll give them somewhat of a safe floor because they know how to operate. They didn't have Diggs last year, and that offense looked good. But, yeah, that's a hit for sure.
CB, who knew that Maddie had a tender hammy today?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was Brian. He knew that correct answer, and he also wanted to let Matty Ice know right before that news drop, go Browns.
You know what, Brian? I appreciate a little trash talk. I do love that. Since you are one of my wrestling brothers, I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
On the day the guy's got a tenderoni?
Say what's up to MJF when you go over there. But, yeah, you know what? See, that's what I love about our fans, man, our listeners, that they can absolutely talk trash to us and we can all still love each other. Yeah. You know? I love it. Go Ravens.
Have their moment. Yeah. The best way to deflect against the trash is to just beat up your own team so much that people then will have sympathy.
Oh, and listen, I can't say anything to Browns fans right now. They just hit us with an L, you know? Jameis was eating dubs on us.
Yeah. I mean, you can say catch the damn ball, which is Hamilton.
And I was saying
all right, Hamilton.
I mean, you just said the PG version of what I was saying on Sunday.
We're going to come back with pre-snap reads for you. And who is the real MVP right now? Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Here's a listener tweet. Our Are Men and Bone stupid in real life? Yes. Yes, they are. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan.
Marty Brenneman here for Tri-State Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health for treating erectile dysfunction and low testosterone issues. And they're the leader for a reason, because I can tell you from my own experience of being treated there, Tri-State Men's Health is top shelf. Far too many men wait to get their ED treated, but I want to tell you today that you shouldn't wait any longer. If you're suffering with ED and are like most guys, a medical team at Tri-State Men's Health will get you back on track fast. They have the experience, they have the treatment protocols, and they know what they're doing. At Tri-State Men's Health, they have ED treatments that are effective in well over 90% of men. They can even combine treatments for better results. You might even find yourself performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment today. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. They have 6 offices in the tri-state area to serve you.
Football is all about scoring big, and so is Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. With 4 dealerships and a collision center, you're sure to find the perfect vehicle. Plus, every vehicle purchase comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. Our Carvenience service picks up your car, gives you a rental, and returns it without you lifting a finger. Score big today. Experience the difference and visit HindererMotorCompany.com. We love what moves you.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Post Malone is teaming up with Raising Cane's to empower the next generation of artists. For a limited time, 2 exclusive double-sided Post Malone posters are available at Raising Cane's. So post up your combo at Cane's while supplies last and support a good cause. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
There's nothing like having Common Man and T-Bone resting on your bosom.
Oh, for someone with no breasts, you've done very well for yourself.
Gross. Pick up the latest T-shirt in the Fan store or pick up merch from a show you actually like. We even have Ohio State and Jacket stuff. Head to 971thefan.com.
Skyline is serving up special Halloween ways made with orange noodles this Wednesday and Thursday only. Stop in for Skyline Halloween ways or pick them up and take them home. October 30th and 31st only at participating Skyline restaurants while supplies last.
This is Ryan Krieger, and at Krieger Ford, we know life's busy. Let us handle your car care. Enjoy our convenient pick-up and delivery service, or have our technicians come to you with our mobile service van. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today, only at KriegerFord.com.
Breaking news? Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions apply.
Hear that? That's the sound of Bernie Moreno shredding evidence to avoid paying his employees. You see, Moreno refused to pay his employees the overtime pay they earn, so they sued him. And after a court ordered Moreno to keep the evidence of his wage theft, what did he do? That's right. He shredded it. Moreno even admitted to shredding evidence in court. He was found liable for wage theft, and a court forced him to pay over $400,000. Innocent people don't shred evidence. And now that Bernie Moreno is running for Senate, he doesn't want to talk about how he was caught ripping off his employees. And that begs the question, do you want a guy like that representing you in the Senate? Bernie Moreno, you can't trust him to be for you. The United Association of Plumbers and Pipe Fitters paid for and is responsible for the content of this ad. UA.org, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A warm one is expected today. We are looking at highs around 80 in the metro area. A little bit cooler outside of town. Dry tonight with a low of 58. Dry tomorrow with a high of 80. Rain and wind expected late in the day on Halloween. That could disrupt any trick-or-treating plans. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by the Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, Maddie, a little Bet365 time.
Yes, sir, because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. See for yourself when you sign up today and get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5.
All right, a couple nice things on Bet365. I do want to tell you that they give you a boost on Ohio State. If you still believe they could win it all, they boosted them up to 5-1. So if you're somebody who wants to dip your toe in the water on Ohio State or doesn't have anything yet, you could still jump in at 5-1 if you're confident. The other thing, it was a wash for me last night, so I gave you both teams not to score in the first 10 minutes of the Jackets game. Jackets did score, Edmonton didn't. So we won that one, but I lost on the Nerfy. And by the way,
explain the Nerfy for the folks that don't know.
No runs in the first inning of a baseball game.
There you go.
And what we should have done, which I don't know why we didn't, we're just idiots. Why didn't we bet Freeman to... Those aren't pillows.
Oh,
why
man.
the guy's on a 5-game World Series home run streak.
It's crazy.
And so he's the one that ended the Nerfy. So I think I'm going to go back to it tonight.
Okay.
Because now it's 2-1 in the World Series. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the Nerfy, no runs first inning, but I'm going to take Freeman over/under for the game at a half for a walk. You cannot keep pitching to this guy.
You love saying that. You
pitch around him every time.
You love doing this.
Well,
like, just don't pitch to anybody.
Not anybody. The guy that has 5 straight World Series games with a home run. Pitch all day to Aaron Judge.
If nobody's on base, I'm pitching to him. Scare money.
The other thing is I'm going over 2.5 total on the game, which it should get to 3 runs.
I like it.
By the way, you get the 50% boost with that. So if you do the Freeman gets a walk at some point in the game, you get a Nerfy. That's the key. No runs first inning. And we just get to 3 runs or more in the game. It's 3-1.
Okay, there you go. Oh, you know what? I got something for you real quick. Got a fun matchup in the NBA tonight. Dallas Mavericks taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm looking at Kyrie Irving. His 3-pointers made tonight at the number 3. If he hits 3 threes, which is just a mouthful to say there, the juice on that is plus 115. So I'm going with Uncle Drew. Give me Kyrie Irving and nail 3 threes at plus 150.
The other quick one, if you wanted to do this, but I mean, you could always get beaten by a tie, is you could bet the Crew tonight against the Red Bulls at minus 125. Like, that's not, that feels like a fairly smart bet. You could run into a tie there.
Okay.
Because you're going on a 3-way there with that kind of a bet, but that wouldn't be bad to pair that with something.
CB, they winning it all this year? Again?
I'll go yes.
Okay. Sounded real confident.
Incredibly. Basically said empty your accounts.
Kind of hit a high note, too.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
That's usually the not confident answer.
I got you.
Drive me out of my mind. A high talker.
Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
But I have not looked at the odds for NFL MVP right now, but I will do that, and we can get an idea what they are thinking. The favorite lines up with who Domonique Foxworth says will win it.
If I were to say Josh Allen is the MVP of the league, what does D. Fox say?
I'd say he's really good, but I think no, it's Jayden Daniels. I think I might surprise you with this. Is if you look at Jayden Daniels' stats next to all the top quarterbacks, he compares favorably. But if you look at what we expected from that team, and that's an argument for value. You look at what the receivers that he has, the O-line that he has, the defense that he has, a coach that none of us believed in, and coordinator or head coach, and right now they're leading their division, and there's no argument for any reason why this cursed franchise is playing well, other than this man showed up. And if that's not the MVP of the league, I know he's a rookie. I know we can give him Rookie of the Year and not put him in this conversation, but it's hard to make an argument for anybody else that's been more important to a franchise than Jayden Daniels has been this season.
Yeah, he's not wrong. It is a surprise type of guess because, like they pointed out, Jayden Daniels is 5th right now at 10-1, which means they don't believe that he will win it. I think Dominique's argument is very good. The only thing he's up against is history, which is rookies don't win MVP.
Yeah.
They win Rookie of the Year, they win Offensive Player of the Year, and you got to go back to Jim Brown, who I think is the only rookie to ever win MVP. Yeah. So I think the betting history tells you that. It doesn't mean he's not deserving of it because honestly, he probably is. He's right there with Allen.
This is a very similar conversation to what we had a year ago when it came to CJ. Very similar, almost maybe identical, right? With these rookies coming in and taking these franchises that were obviously picking very high and getting them in the mix, and this guy looking like an elite player right out of the gate. And so for Jayden Daniels, he's earned that respect. He's absolutely earned the right to be in this conversation. And it's Mahomes, Allen, Goff, and Lamar.
Mahomes,
those guys
have
around
the stats
him.
for it. Oh yeah, it's Allen, Lamar, Patrick, Goff.
Yeah, those
is
are the
in there.
guys
But look at the weapons. Look at the running game that Goff has. Not that he hasn't had a great year. He has, but he's right. It's Allen and Jayden in my mind, and your guy Lamar. But I think I would put those two guys ahead.
And this fluctuates week to week. There was a few weeks ago where everybody was crowning Josh Allen, and he goes out and has a 9 for 30 and all that stuff. So that's the beauty of this, is that we've got weeks to go, and all of these guys, I think, will remain in the mix. I'd be surprised if Jayden Daniels absolutely falls off. Where's CJ at with his value right now?
He's at 14-1. There's good value because now that he just lost Diggs and hasn't had Nico. Because I'm with you. You hit it right where I was going to take it, which is I could talk about all these guys and what they have and what other guys don't have. And that's why I think Josh Allen and Jayden Daniels would be my two. Lamar, they just added Deontay.
Why Josh, though, right now ahead of Lamar for you? I'm just curious. What's
I like the way he's playing. I've been following the way he's playing. I think maybe the narrative of it, I haven't even looked at the stats, but I think he's putting that team a little more on his back than you guys have had to put Lamar. You have Derrick Henry. That'd be my answer.
I was just asking. I was just curious.
No, and it's nothing to do with because it's your, how much I like the Ravens.
I know. I was just curious because I just all those guys are deserving. So that's all. I just wanted to hear your case.
Well, somebody has to be the favorite, and I think that for me,
and Vegas is with you.
Yeah,
Vegas is with you. Josh has been.
Boy, I tell you what, his numbers. I mean, Allen 14 touchdowns, 1 pick. Lamar 17 touchdowns, 2 picks. Yeah, I think I've come back to my answer, which is one guy has Derrick Henry, the other guy doesn't.
What about the head-to-head matchup, though?
Yep.
How'd that work out for you?
Yeah, I don't know if that will come into play full time.
I'm just messing with you.
No, I have no problem with the argument. I think it's a very good argument. Right now I have Josh a little bit ahead of Lamar, and that's what Vegas has.
What about, real quick, Jalen Hurts, his odds? It might be a little late, but they look good to me as a team.
Well, he's scoring the touchdowns again.
Can he get in this mix?
They're getting the tush push involved again. It's not just all Barkley at the goal line. In fact, it hasn't been at all. But I come back to my original argument. He has Barkley. He has Brown. He has Devontae.
We've handed out MVPs to Mahomes when he had that's a hard game to play. I hear you. I was just curious.
It's 20-1.
Okay. I'm not mad at it. It might be a little late for him, but value right now. If they crank out three more wins in a row and the touchdowns start to climb, Jalen Hurts wouldn't be bad to do a little sprinkle on right now.
Those are your pre-snap reads for today. We come back with Austin Ward. He asked a question today at the press conference that went unanswered. We'll ask him and we'll get his answer next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Our clients deserve for us to care, and they deserve to feel serviced. They have questions, and they deserve answers. We're counselors first because I'm not selling them anything. I'm trying to teach clients how to protect themselves. At Curtis & Associates, we're personal injury attorneys. We've helped and continue to help hundreds and hundreds of clients every year. That's important to us. If you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, call now. 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT. Curtis & Associates. Attorneys who care.
Hey Columbus, Caden Curry here, Ohio State student athlete for Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. I've had to be versatile my whole football career. Of course, I'm a defensive end, but I've also played special teams and even played fullback. Whether I'm blocking or tackling, I've got to be ready for any job out there, which is why I love the versatility in Kubota's BXB and L Series tractors. There's no task too big or small with Kubota tractors from Green & Sons. Visit greensons.com today, or stop by their stores in Mount Sterling and in Raymond, north of Marysville, and get yourself a Kubota tractor that works as hard as I do.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like Bear Dynasty interior paint, their most durable one-coat hide paint ever. From a team color statement wall to a fan cave, complete with a mural honoring Nick Saban's 17-year dynasty.
Hey, I like that idea.
Nothing beats Bear Dynasty interior paint. It's everything you need all in one can.
Defend your game time with Bear and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Valid only when tinted to colors from the Bear Dynasty and Marquee Interior One-Coat Hide Color Collection.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
Remember how that little girl in Poltergeist was in the TV?
They're here.
Yeah? Well, she's actually dead now. It's quite sad. Anyway, watch your favorite fan shows on your TV by subscribing to us on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan. Do it now.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio.
Hello. I am a serious announcer hired to deliver a serious announcement. Get an Apex Pros winter tune-up for your furnace right now for only $29. Notice we are simply giving you the facts. Just $29 to make sure your furnace is ready for the upcoming Ohio winter. We know how you enjoy our usual fun and funny commercials. Hello? Beg pardon? Well, I see no reason to bring my mother into this. Good day to you, sir. Where was I? Oh, yes. A $29 tune-up will make sure your furnace runs safely and warmly all winter. That's serious. I'm serious. That's why we're not doing the usual that you've come to expect from Apex Pros. None of this or this nonsense. $29 for a furnace tune-up from Apex Pros. The pros who knows? Knows? Is that really how you say it? The pros who...
Apex Pros, the official plumber of the Columbus Blue Jackets. ApexPros.com.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota. With more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, anything's possible. Like the family-size Highlander with room for up to 8. Now through November 4th, you can lease a Highlander XLE all-wheel drive for $489 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
At Pella, we're really proud of our hideaway hardware technology.
Oh, yeah, that's the super duper fancy stuff where the handles fold all sleek like into the windows.
That's right. Do you guys have hideaway hardware at your window place, Wilson?
Do we have hideaway hardware? Oh, no, we don't.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rated #1 for improving the look of their homes at PellaColumbus.com.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Let's do a little day tripping.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Plumbing. Call us today at 1-800-FURNACE for all your plumbing and drain service needs. Yes, 1-800-FURNACE works for plumbing, too.
All right, back at it, talking Buckeyes with our friend Austin Ward, who is an Ohio State football beat reporter, dotting the I's in the podcast, and, of course, here on The Fan. A-Dub, great to have you back. How you feeling?
I personally feel just fine, Anthony. Yeah. You know, very, very relaxing weekend. You know, the girls were out of town, so Sunday was just a nice relaxing day at home. Professionally, I think it's a little stressful right now.
Yeah, they didn't take a step forward, that's for sure. And I know football coaches like to say that. Did we get better today? And I don't think Ohio State got better. They certainly won the game, and that's the end of the day. That's the most important part. I heard you ask at the press conference, which was outstanding, trying to pin the coach down on maybe what's the one priority he wants to change. Yeah. That question didn't get answered by him, which maybe I understand that to some degree, but it's our job maybe to identify what he might want to say. What is the one thing you believe that is his biggest priority, and can he get it done?
Yeah, I mean, that's the $10 million question heading to Happy Valley on Saturday. I think there is still a need for Ohio State. Like, if they wanted to justify the defensive performance by getting the stops in the fourth quarter, the 3 sacks, the 13 tackles for loss, I think you could certainly do that and rationalize it. But I think for me, if Ohio State is drilling down, some of the issues are the same this week as they were in the off week, which is, can the Buckeyes get pressure with just their front four? All 3 of those sacks that they got last week came by adding at least one blitzer, and in one case there were 7 guys coming into the box to try and get to Nebraska and Dylan Raiola. So I think defensively that still remains the priority. And then offensively, that becomes a more complicated answer. They did not convert in third down situations. You could tell that Ryan Day is almost like maniacally focused on getting that done. No matter what other question he was asked really earlier today, it always came back to, even on leadership, well, if you executed on third down, that would fuel emotion. I think you can tell that 1 for 10 really, truly bothered him, and that's why his attention has shifted more to the offensive side of the football. But there are, Anthony, things that have to be addressed on both sides for Ohio State if they're going to go on the road and beat a really talented team on Saturday.
So going back to defense, Austin, there's some mystique around, some mystery around who's going to play quarterback for Penn State this weekend. And if it's Bo Pribula, we were talking earlier, and I'm like, yeah, I know that this is a guy that can hurt you with his legs, but to me, they see a similar look every day from Will Howard. Like, I don't think that's something that should catch them by surprise or be something that they're overly fearful of. When you look at Penn State's quarterback scenario going into the weekend, what are your thoughts on the preparation for that?
Yeah, I think you're right, Maddie. I mean, I don't think that this should necessarily change what Ohio State needs to do or force them into 2 different schemes to get ready for Saturday. You have to be prepared for Drew Howard to play and be able to stretch the field, and he's not going to. I don't know what the severity of that injury would be, but he's not going to be unwilling to scramble to make some things happen. We've seen him. He's not Lamar Jackson, but he could certainly find room to operate and extend plays at a level that I don't think would be dissimilar to Dylan Raiola, who gashed Ohio State for a 3rd and long 38-yard run on Saturday. So the discipline has to come down to. Ohio State says this a lot about focusing on itself. I don't know that it should change all that much depending on who Penn State plays at quarterback. They need to be more disciplined at times in their rush lanes. If they're going to be aggressive and they feel the need to blitz more, which they did on Saturday, there's going to be a lot of stress on the players in the secondary to play man-to-man coverage and be able to maybe extend that for longer plays, and then to be cognizant if things slip out. The complicating factor exists not just for then Ohio State dealing with their own left tackle being out, but with Lathan Ransom being out. This thing has gotten trickier for them. They are not the same team physically and maybe not mentally right now with the leadership losses that taking Lathan Ransom and Josh Simmons out of the lineup has inflicted on them. They're not the same team as they were before Oregon. That doesn't mean that they still can't reach their goals, but whether Drew Howard plays or not, I'm not sure that it should change the practice habits all that much starting in an hour and a half or Wednesday night or Thursday.
Yeah, they're in an interesting spot right now because they have all the motivation in the world going to Penn State. Penn State's got all the expectation on them at home and certainly being the number 3 ranked team in the country. But where do you stand on the X's and O's of this? If Ohio State has to patch up this offensive line against that defensive line, where's your confidence that this kind of goes Ohio State's way? Because these are the kind of games that usually do go Ohio State's way. Expectations for Penn State that they don't live up to. Ohio State now feels vulnerable, and maybe the country is maybe moving off of them a little bit, and so they'll be motivated by that. So the narrative would say that these are the games that Ohio State would get up for and win. But where's your confidence in what they're going to do at offensive line? Do they let Zen Michalski continue to kind of prove that he can do the job? But when you put him in front of that defensive line this weekend, I don't even know what their other options are.
Yeah, and frankly, I was surprised that Ryan Day had left the door open for Zen Michalski based on what I saw on Saturday with him on crutches and what I had heard maybe yesterday. I did not think that it was even a remote possibility that Zen Michalski could play against Penn State. We'll see if that is just more of, the way Ohio State handles injury information, and I almost fully expect that Donovan Jackson will be playing out there at left tackle. But to zoom out, no matter who it is, it may sound crazy based on what we all saw in the Horseshoe on Saturday against a team that Nebraska has a good defensive front. They had a good plan, and that performance should not have provided much reason for confidence. But because of maybe the urgency that I expect Ohio State to bounce back with, and Chip Kelly, and to a lesser extent, or maybe even the same extent, back to UCLA, Justin Fry, bringing in Tim Drevno, having Mike Soleni on this staff, there's a lot of brain power that has schemed up stuff for offensive lines that did not have high-end national championship caliber talent on the offensive line. That has been the hallmark for Chip Kelly. So I'm looking to that, and if people want to think that maybe I'm clinging to that or grasping at straws, so be it. But if I think that there is a chance that they could get that done with Donovan Jackson at left guard, maybe left tackle, Austin Cerebell moving back to left guard, I don't feel like I would be overly surprised if they were able to scheme a way up around that offensive line, whether that's more RPO stuff, maybe that's relying just purely on the passing attack coming back in a way that we didn't see on Saturday. I don't know what that solution would be, Anthony, but I won't be surprised if they come up with one.
Yeah. No, it may be just getting the best dudes out on the field, or at least the guys they deem being the best, and we'll find out how it shakes out, man. Good stuff. Certainly a big week of hype, man, and we wish you the best. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, guys. See you.
Thanks. Austin Ward, Dotting the I's in the podcast on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline.
The Columbus Men's Clinic, folks, is the largest and most experienced men's health practice in Columbus. Did you know that their patients average 3 failures with other places before coming to the Columbus Men's Clinic? If you've been waiting to treat your low T or ED, or maybe you had a bad experience with yet another clinic that opened quickly and closed, it's time to get in there and move forward with your sex life, your career, and gym goals. They specialize in seeing guys who think they're out of luck regain hope that they can be successful in the bedroom and beyond. Seriously, go see the team that for 10 years has been #1 in Ohio for men's health. Stop thinking about it and get in there. Call 614-300-7400. That's 614-300-7400, or go online to columbusmensclinic.com to book an appointment today. columbusmensclinic.com.
We come back with Tell the Truth to wrap it up. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Question from a listener: do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No? The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
The Christmas cash giveaways now at UDF. With UDrive Plus, 1 in 7 can play to win prizes instantly, including $1,000 weekly by buying specially marked items at UDF. No purchase necessary. Visit udrivecontest.com for official rules.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
We've seen it before. Politicians and lobbyists playing games, drawing voting maps to keep power in their hands, not ours. Courts have ruled Ohio's voting districts unconstitutional 7 times, while our communities have been left out again and again. But this November, you have a chance to change that with Issue 1. Issue 1 will make it illegal for politicians to manipulate voting districts for themselves or their own party. Instead, it creates an open, transparent process where a diverse group of citizens, not politicians, will draw the lines. No more backroom deals, no more gerrymandering, just fairer maps that represent our communities. Issue 1 gives you and me the power to ensure everyone's vote counts. This is about real change, a chance to end the games and make our voices heard. So vote yes on Issue 1, fair representation, and power to the people. Paid for by citizens, not politicians.
APCO Windows, Siding, and Decks is a family company my dad started in 1962. We don't rely on sales gimmicks, so get multiple estimates. Just make sure one of them is from APCO.
Absolutely, absolutely, you can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
If you miss a little, you'll miss a lot. Search for your favorite fan shows wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Every episode comes right to your phone absolutely free. Modern technology, it's a hell of a thing. Do it now. The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night, and you can't stand your CPAP machine. The good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine, and Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your significant other will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and stops your snoring. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. Yeah, Marysville. If you're snoring and waking up all of Marysville or wherever you live and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. And as the end of the year approaches, a lot of people have exceeded medical deductibles, which means less out of pocket for you. Don't delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also check him out online, sleepbettercolumbus.com, and now sleepbettermarysville.com.
We all know Central Ohio's growing fast. It's making traffic worse and life more expensive. That's why voting yes on Issue 47 is so important. Issue 47 will help folks get to work faster and cheaper by creating COTA Rapid Bus Service. That means more routes, better hours, and more reliable service. That will expand access to transportation for everyone in our community, from the elderly to the disabled, to veterans and students. And Issue 47 will make our neighborhoods safer and more walkable by building 500 miles of sidewalks, trails, and bikeways. When we pass Issue 47, we'll get $1 billion in matching funds from the federal government to pay for it. We're already sending our tax dollars to D.C. Let's bring some of that money home to help our community. Issue 47 means safer neighborhoods and a better quality of life for our families. It's an easy call. Vote yes on Issue 47. Paid for by moving Central Ohio forward.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft beer.
All right, CB, take us home.
All right, so totally not because I have George Pickens in fantasy, but I think we need to get the rules correct. And when you have 2 feet inbounds, that needs to be a touchdown. But it was not for George Pickens last night when he got 2 feet in, but it was the same foot on, I don't know, it was like a double hop he did in the end zone to get that same foot down twice, but it did not count because of the rule. The question is, tell the truth, though. Should the NFL adopt the George Pickens rule, which means 2 feet in, regardless how, should count?
Yeah, so the rule is to make it is both feet, not 2 feet, both feet. There's a difference. And, but I've heard the argument. I've heard this argument, and it's so fluky anyway that you don't need to change this rule. Just you got to get both feet in because it's way too fluky. This won't happen very often. But I've heard the argument where if I caught the ball on the sidelines a little off balance and I'm hopping on 1 foot 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and then my momentum takes me out of bounds, and that other foot never touched,
that'd be
shouldn't that
possession.
Be a catch? But I think it'd be way too fluky. You don't see that.
Yeah.
You don't see a tightrope on 1 foot very often that you would need to change this rule. But that's the counter to the both feet rule. I don't think we get a case like this again very much where we get the double tap with 1 foot. Nah, it shouldn't change. Maybe would the rules committee discuss some things? I think they got better things to discuss. Like, why can't you review a face mask to see if his something like
Wonder
that.
What fan you?
Not just
what team you root for?
Touches. No, I'm being objective with the both feet thing.
Why don't we review, or why don't they review like a face mask? Like, that needs to happen. That should definitely be a thing. CB, I don't think we need this. Yeah. I understand where you're at because of fantasy, but it's just such a one-off situation that we saw from George Pickens yesterday. Like, I don't even know if we'll see it again this season. So, yeah, I got to be out on that.
Yeah,
man.
they do. Listen, they do anything involving the ball, like where the ball is touched, any fumble, any pick, any catch, any muff, any of that, they're going to review to see if the ball touched. But all this stuff, and by the way, they do review stuff on the sidelines, like anything with the sidelines, goal lines, you know that, or the end lines. But, yeah, I was a little surprised when they couldn't review or challenge that face mask on Darnold. But
and then the guy for the Rams, he gave it away because he did the surrender code. I can't believe exactly. I just screwed my team
for that, just for that.
Then he came.
But he didn't sell the whole thing.
He came out after the game and said, "No, it wasn't because of that. It was because it was so loud in the stadium I couldn't hear."
Nice cover.
Oh.
You calling me a liar?
I ain't calling you a truther.
I love how you looked to Ice there when you talked about the reviews in the end zone or reviews on the back line. That was a very strong sneak diss there. I like that.
Oh, you mean because of the likely against Kansas City?
That's where I was
just
going
hit me
it.
now. I know. When you said it, it just hit me.
That's exactly how it hit me when you said it.
Oh, honestly, you give me too much credit.
That's just how. See, CB actually just kind of snitched on himself of how much of a hater he really is.
Yeah, no, that didn't even come to my mind. No, I remember it. Now, and by the way, when you said I think that was a diss, it did hit me what you were talking about. But
I'm not over it yet. Yeah. I'm not over.
But he was
out.
Know what?
I just think highly of you and how you can fit things into your conversation like that. So kudos to you. Yes, but I am a hater with this one too because we could see the end of the Yankee season tonight, which means it'll come off-season time and what to do with Juan Soto for those Yankees. Now he could clearly go to the Mets, maybe the Dodgers, and
maybe the Dodgers.
I mean,
wow.
Yeah. Okay.
You could thank Ohtani for that, for deferring all that money.
No question.
But the question is, do you think a sweep would play into Juan Soto's decision?
I don't. Listen. I have no idea what the man is thinking. CB. Here's what I do know. He is in the perfect situation. What is he? 25, 26. He, no matter what he does. Because the three teams that you mentioned will all be good again next year.
So he just had a birthday.
He did. He'll be playing. It was game one of the World Series. You're right. It was on Friday.
Probably 26 then.
So he'll be playing for a good team. All three are in major markets, and he's going to make, I don't know, I think the floor is $550 million. This thing could get to $700 million. The total value.
For how many years?
Probably 10, 12. He's 25.
He's not getting
$500 million
for 10 years.
Yeah, it might get to $600 million.
Yeah, I guess in my mind I was thinking about $50 million.
Yeah, he might get $600 million for 10 years, and I wouldn't flinch at that because of his age.
Yeah. To answer your original question, I think it's a good one. Is that here he started technically on the eastern portion of the United States with the Nats at age like 19. He goes out west. I think he would have re-signed with the Pods, but didn't their owner pass away or something happened? I think he was going to re-sign with them. Everybody that talks about him says he really does love New York. He loves being east, that he would not go back west. The Dodgers, boy, when you said that, I mean, signing Freddie Freeman and paying Yamamoto and locking up Betts, and they tried to get Garrett Cole. They tried to get Harper.
They try to get everybody because they can.
Yeah.
They got the bank account.
My point is, thanks to Ohtani's contract, this is not doable for them, which is scary. But I don't think the sweep has anything to do with it. I think that the money, and if the money's matching in New York, he stays.
First you get the money,
then you got a power. Then you got a woman.
The truth? It's over.
What if he goes to the Mets?
That's what CB said. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're in the Mets.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, quick final one. Put yourself in the position of an Ohio State fan. Which QB do you hope starts for Penn State on Saturday? Is it Aller, Prabula, or don't care?
I don't know. Aller, he's banged up. We got to go.
I guess I'm in the don't care right this moment.
Yeah, we got to go.
In time.
The truth!
shall set you free. Coming up on Common Man and T-Bone, Common Man has let me know that he is going to explain to you and T-Bone why the Crew and the Jackets are going to win the whole darn thing this year.
That would be a neat trick.
He would be on fire.
As I've heard in a movie before. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan. This is a Fan Action Update.
Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit primesportsbook.com and use the promo code JUSTSPORTS for a welcome bonus of up to $100. 4 teams left with a legit shot to win the Big Ten this year. Oregon's the favorite at plus 110. Ohio State has the second best odds at plus 160. Penn State comes in at plus 440. And Indiana's 14-1 to win the Big Ten this year. For your Prime Sports Action Update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Post Malone is teaming up with Raising Cane's to empower the next generation of artists. For a limited time, 2 exclusive double-sided Post Malone posters are available at Raising Cane's. So post up your combo at Cane's while supplies last and support a good cause. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, Jerry. Remember that day I invented the everything bagel? That was a heck of a day, Jerry. I was right there in line.
Get Eco.
I saw the onion bagel and the poppy seed bagel and the sesame bagel, and I thought, imagine if one bagel could give you everything you need. You changed the world that day, Jerry.
Get Eco.
I think Eco is just like that for homeowners in Ohio. Plumbers, electricians, HVAC technicians. One company, one call, everything you need.
Get Eco.
Eco is a complete ecosystem of home services all under one roof.
Ooh, that is a good one.
Big things, small things, projects that require a little of this and that. Eco has the whole ecosystem equally covered.
Get Eco.
What if one day someone comes up with a new thing you can put on a bagel?
Well, I've already patented everything, Aaron. Nobody can claim everything plus one.
You're a wise man, Jerry.
I'm making a fortune, Aaron.
Get Eco.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Bernie Marino faced multiple lawsuits claiming discrimination against employees.
2 accused him of gender and age discrimination, and the third accuses him of race discrimination. Marino was sued for failing to pay overtime wages.
At some point in life, we've all experienced that boss. You know, the boss you hope you never work for again. Well, Bernie Moreno is that boss. Bernie Moreno was sued for discriminating against his employees. Like a woman he belittled for being a single mom, and a black man demoted from his position as manager after raising concerns he was being paid less than his white co-workers. And Bernie Moreno was caught failing to pay his employees the overtime they earned. And then Moreno shredded evidence to try and cover it up. A judge ordered Moreno to pay $400,000 to former workers. Yes, Bernie Moreno is that boss, and he most certainly shouldn't be our senator.
I'm Sherrod Brown running for Senate. I approve this message.
Paid for by friends of Sherrod Brown.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. We're talking everything from custom Mountain Dew camp chairs and backpack coolers to exclusive Mountain Dew tents, fishing boats, and more. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com and 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
Hey, it's Anthony. If you want to make the best deal in town on a new Honda, make sure you visit my friends at your main Honda of Dublin. They're on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. And Rich tells me you're going to get 1.90% APR up to 60 months on most new 24s and 25 Hondas. They'll give you the details. Of course, you'll get same-day service, no appointment needed. And how about an extra $1,000 for your trade if you have a 2014 or newer vehicle? All with the